Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our event today in regards with our safety, let's watch together induction safety induction video by K3L Universitas Indonesia.
Selamat datang di Universitas Indonesia.
Welcome to Universitas Indonesia.
Sesuai dengan persyaratan K3 yang berlaku di Universitas Indonesia, kami, Unit Keselamatan, Kesehatan Kerja, dan Lingkungan akan menyampaikan maksud keselamatan.
Based on safety regulation in Universitas Indonesia, we are from Occupational Safety, Health and Environment Unit would like to deliver safety induction.
Saat ini kita berada di ruang perpustakaan pusat Universitas Indonesia.
Now we are in flooring room Universitas Indonesia Library.
Terdapat satu pintu utama ke bagian samping ruangan.
There is one main entrance in flooring room Universitas Indonesia.
Terdapat dua potensi keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi, yaitu kebakaran dan gempa bumi.
There are two emergency conditions which may occur: fire and earthquake.
Jika terjadi kebakaran, harap tenang dan jangan panik.
In case of fire situation, please be calm and do not panic. Use fire extinguisher near the main entrance.
Segera lakukan evakuasi ketika berkembang.
Evacuate yourself to assembly point.
Jika terjadi gempa bumi, lakukan metode drop, cover, dan hold. Jatuhkan badan Anda, lindungi kepala dengan tangan, dan melindungi dua kursi atau meja. Tetap bertahan hingga keluarga. Hindari area kaca dan benda yang menggantung.
In case of earthquake, to drop, cover, and hold on metal. Protect your head by your hand and cover your head near the table or chair and hold on until condition is safe. Avoid hazard from window glasses and hanging objects.
Segera lakukan evakuasi ketika berkembang.
Evacuate yourself to assembly point.
Harap hati-hati saat beraktivitas untuk pidana.
Please be careful with your activity near the lake.
Berdasarkan keputusan Rektor, Universitas Indonesia merupakan kawasan tanpa asap rokok.
Based on Rector Decree, Universitas Indonesia is
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say welcome to our distinguished guest, the Honorable Bapak Fuad Gani SSMA, as the head of Universitas Indonesia Library. Good morning, Bapak. I'd like to welcome to the Honorable Representative of I Group, Mrs. Susan Oi and Mr. Halwis Chai. Good morning. The Honorable Dr. William Yue as our speaker for today, and the representative of Tunitin, Mr. Jack Brazil and James Corley. Good morning. And all distinguished participants, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's pray to Almighty God for this blessing. We are able to attend to this event, International Workshop on Research Integrity, Publishing with Confidence 2017. Yeah, you may give a big applause for our event today. This event is brought to you by Universitas Indonesia Library and I Group. Ladies and gentlemen, our event will be started by singing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. All audience, you are kindly to request stand up and sing Indonesia Raya together. Please welcome our DJ, Ibu Heni. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have a seat again. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, to officially open our workshop today, we are pleased to have UI representative, the Honorable Bapak Fuad Gani SSMA, as head of UI Library, to deliver the opening remarks. Bapak Fuad Gani, you might take the floor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning for the delegate from the I groups. Thank you very much for visiting our university. Actually, our university had two campuses, one in Depok and the other in Jakarta, Salemba. It's a very great opportunity for us to come to share knowledge regarding about how to publish research with international quality. So thank you very much for coming. Saya juga mix ini ya, Universitas Indonesia, perusahaan kita UI, insya Allah di tahun depan akan mengalami juga beberapa perubahan. We try to transfer from the academic library become the research library. It's been to have some kinds of changes regarding about the human resources and our collection. And luckily, actually, the SOE library is only one the member of the Pacific Rim Research Library Alliances that is the member is from selected university like Berkeley University, Beijing University, Hong Kong University, and some university in Asia and also in Latin America. We believe by making such kinds of to make a kinds of transformation to become research library, we try to help our lecturer student, especially postgraduate student, to boost their quality of article in the journal. As we know that it's not easy to publish, especially an article in international journal, especially will be indexed by Scopus. So to the event, it could be a good opportunity for us to try to get some kinds of knowledge regarding about how to try to publish professionally our article in the international journal, especially that indexed by Scopus. So thank you for a group that also have kinds of support for this program, and also about the organizing committee that have to make this event is possible. And we try to see the best certificate from our Vice Rector, Professor Bambang Yubawarta, because at the same time, actually the UI Library conduct two kinds of event. One is in Sentul, that is forum discussion on Nusantara study, and also tomorrow that we have in Pusat Studi Jepang, Center for Japanese Study. So the many kinds of activities that we will have, and we hope that in the future the role of library, especially our library, OE library, can make more betterments regarding about the facilities and also the collection. So thank you very much for your coming and your participation in this big event. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bapak Fuad Gani. It was a delighting welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, research integrity is commitment to create and control liability in execution and research promotion. Including in the integrity is honesty and using verified method in making, executing, and evaluating research report, specifically related with the rules, regulation, direction, and other things related to the professional world. Nowadays, academic individual required to have a highly publicized product in nationally and internationally accredited journal that research integrity is the utmost necessity to avoid matters in terms of self-plagiarism. One of the issues highlighted in this event is to avoid self-plagiarism. That's why this research integrity event emphasizes the theme publishing with confidence. This workshop shall discuss several topics, among others, intellectual property in library, strategy of publishing an international journal, and the usage of anti-plagiarism software, which can be applied with doing research. Ladies and gentlemen, without any longer time, let's invite our moderator to lead this workshop session. Please welcome Ibu Utami Haryadi, SSM Lim, MSE. She is a lecturer in Library Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. Please welcome Ibu Utami. Ibu Utami is a lecturer of Library Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia, and also affiliation in Indonesian Library Association as a Secretary General, and also ex-board member of Konsal. Yeah.
Good morning. Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi semuanya. Kalau saya mengatakan research integrity, jawabnya yes, gitu ya. Baik, research integrity. Yes. Satu kali lagi, research integrity. Yes. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak William, please allow me introducing the session and also introducing myself in two languages. Izinkanlah saya mengungkapkan di dalam bahasa Inggris, di dalam bahasa Indonesia. It's a very, very good opportunity for all of us to have this kind of occasion, sessions, and I really hope that Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia will be able to continue this tradition for research integrity for going to the world-class research university. Baiklah, Bapak-bapak dan Ibu-ibu sekalian, izinkanlah saya memperkenalkan dua pembicara kita kali ini di dalam acara Research Integrity International Workshop, ya, yang merupakan kerjasama tadi telah dikemukakan oleh pembawa acara, jadi kerjasama dari Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia dengan iGroup. Alright, the first speaker is Bapak, right? The main speaker actually, Dr. William Yo from Deakin University. Give big applause for him. Right, please. And is it now a panel, right? So we just would like to also ask, have a seat there, and this is your Bapak William Yo tadi mengaku besarnya di Malaysia, jadi juga bisa bahasa Melayu, right? Okay. And the second speaker is Bapak Fuad Gani. Yang kita Kepala Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia. Baiklah, kita punya dua pembicara di sini. We have two speakers in this very important session, and I think we will start with Pak William Yo first. But please, saya membuat dalam dua bahasa. Mohon dengan sangat Bapak Ibu mematikan atau membuat silent dari HP-nya masing-masing supaya tidak mengganggu acara ini. Tolong, ya, saya juga akan melakukannya. Jadi kalau mati nanti mati beneran. Ya. Baik. Kemudian, I just would like to introduce you to our speaker. William Yo, Dr. William Yo. He is the senior lecturer from the Deakin University. Earlier I told him that I have sort of a nostalgic feeling in this Deakin University because back in the early 80s, I was there, not as a student, but as a housewife, and I took a keyboard skill course. My goodness. 80s, so maybe most of you haven't really been born yet, yeah. And I think from the presentation and also that from your the presentation that have already been printed out for you, you can see how experienced Dr. William Yo. He has been with the university for 7 years, but he has already been living in Melbourne for 15 years, and he has so many articles and projects during his stay there. So please give Dr. William Yo a big applause, and we will ask him to explain what actually tips and tricks to get published internationally. Again, saya mohon dengan sangat beri aplaus yang meriah untuk Dr. William, the floor is yours. Okay.
All right. A very good morning, everyone. Apa kabar? Great. Yeah. It's lovely and my great pleasure to be here. Thanks very much to the sponsor, Terapung, and also my friends, okay, yeah, and also the host here, yep, and all the new friends, yep. And today I'm not here to lecture you, but here to share with you some tricks and tips in publishing in an international peer-reviewed journal, sharing my personal insights from both as an author as well as an editor perspective. So I welcome questions, and in fact I love questions. So feel free to share your comments or questions on the fly. Alright. So a little bit of introduction about myself, why I'm here. Well, as you can see, well, just recently, okay, I'm very humbled and honored to be awarded the 2017 the ICT Educator of the Year Award by the Australian Computer Society. And also, I have been awarded this IBM Faculty Award, which is an internationally competitive award, which is rarely bestowed on Australian-based researchers. Then also, the main reason why I'm here, actually just very recently, and actually today, okay, I just received another award for Faculty Outstanding Research. Thank you. So that's why I would like to share with you my experience from publishing over 60 peer-reviewed articles in high-tier journals as well as the top IS conference. Well, may I know how many here are from a business school or business disciplines? How many are from business discipline? Okay, business. How many are from like computer science or engineering discipline? Com science, engineering. How about from traditional science, physics, chemistry, those kind, traditional science? How about from others like nursing, medicine, law school? Oh, law school. Well, we got a number of interesting. Yeah. Well, actually, I should have mentioned that before my role at the University, I was the Deputy Dean for R&D at the University Tunku Abdul Rahman in Malaysia. Yeah, so during my role, I was on this the University grant committee. So I also assessed grants from psychology, from law, from marketing. So I do have some insights. So that's why today the talk, I believe, this is generalizable, transferable, as well as applicable to all different disciplines. Okay. And here's just some photo to share my happy moments. Like my team, my students team, they were crowned the worldwide champion at last year IBM Watson Analytics competition. So my main research area, therefore, is business analytics as well as information system. Yeah. And here sometimes also I mingle with industry as my role. I have 3 service roles, one as a Director of International, one as a Director of Industry Engagement, and one as the head of the IBM Center. Yeah, this one. So at DKIN, we have this unique IBM branded Center of Excellence in Business Analytics. It is sponsored by IBM. We have over $1 million of sponsorship from IBM. So these are my role as a service role and also the IBM Center. So this is my baby. And I'll tell you how we can actually engage industry, and collaborate and publish some great articles that is industry relevant as well, not only in Scopus. And also, so this is my editorial role for this journal. I'm the chief editor for this BI research, section editor for ARGIS, then co-founder for this. And also, I'm an adjunct professor at this University Tunku Abdul Rahman, and also adjunct senior research fellow with Universitas Australia, where I received my PhD in business intelligence and analytics. And also, I'm a senior member of ACS. Yep. So that's my experience. And now, probably something more important to all of us is my editorial experience. Yeah, as you can see, I'm the editor-in-chief for this international peer-reviewed journal, and also section editor for this ARGIS. ARGIS is a rank A. In Australia we have ABDC. I know some of you, you did your degree or PhD from like 13, and also uni, yeah. So I'm sure you are quite familiar with like ABDC, Australian Business Dean's Council Journal Quality List, yeah. So this is an A-rank journal. This is also ABDC listed. This one, this is Journal of Computer Info System. I'm also on the editorial board. It is also A-rank journal. This one, because of some industrial management component, so it's not included in the list, but it's on core list, computer science list. Yeah, it's rank B, and I'm also on the editorial board. And you can see the impact factor for this journal last year was 2.2. Right, as you may know, anything above 1 in a business school is very good. Anything above 2 is, very good, yeah. Above 3, is 4. Yeah. And of course, actually, I've edited a couple of books as well with my colleagues in US, Professor John Talbot and Chow. So I can share as well, not only for journal publication, but some of you might be interested in editing a book, which is, I think, a great thing as well. So feel free to ask me questions, especially for those who would like to submit to these journals, okay, etc. Yep. All good? Great. Now, next one is my own publication list. So I've published in these journals. As you may know, this one journal of this one Justice. Okay, this is ranked as A star. Okay, in Australia, as you may know, we have ABDC list, or in the Europe we have the ABS, the business school list, So usually you have 3-4% A star, and then 5 or 10% A, then 20 B, then C, the rest, So this one is A star journal, and also I've published in also others. Enterprise system, And of course, you may notice, you see some of the journal, I myself as an editor, okay, or on the editorial board of the journal like this one. And also me and my PhD student, our team, we have published in the EAI, Elsevier journal. The impact factor for this one, you guess how many? The impact factor, 4 plus, which is very, very high, interestingly, So actually, in engineering school or computer science, the impact factor can be very high because of the larger the nature of the community, the research community. Engineering and com science, they have more researchers in that field, and therefore, with this, X amount of journals, but with Y amount of researchers, the community, so the citation naturally will be higher, and therefore the impact factor is always higher for engineering school. So sometimes, for an engineering journal, if you see 5, 10, it's normal. Okay, unless it's Nature, okay, and then you got 40. Yep. So also I've published in IEEE, computer, and others as well. So you can see my research area spans across traditional business as well as info system and the technical computer science as well. Okay. So depending on the projects and collaborators, and I love to collaborate with you as well. Okay. Let's work together. Now, as we may know, okay, submission is not acceptance, and for many academics, okay, professors here, even Nobel recipients, this is what I heard from them. They said whether you're Nobel recipients, okay, the Nobel Prize, people have no clue about you because most of the journals they are, double blind peer review. So we have no clue. So this is very common, especially if you want to publish in the Scopus or the Thomson Reuters SCI Index. It's getting competitive nowadays. Because as you may know, in the UK, US, Australia, we have this so-called the journal ranking list, and people are now looking at that limited journals only. Okay, for us like at Deakin, we have the point system. A star, you have 10 points, A 6, B 2, C -2. -2. So means if you publish in C, you are penalized. -2. So means your B is gone. If you got 1 C and 1 B, it's gone back to 0. Therefore, we have only one choice, either A or A star. And for each academic, depending on the workload, okay, like me, I have to publish, my workload is 60% research. Means 5 days working day, 3 days is about research, actually. So 60% I have to publish at least 2 A star per year, 2 A per year on average. So we have 3 years, time spent for you. So over 3 years, you have to meet the minimum criteria, 6 A. Not easy, because of the 60%. Average researchers are 40%. I'm not sure about you, okay, what's your workload model? But I guess you're more relaxed because I can feel you are enjoying yourself here. But there we have very high KPI because we want to achieve a higher ranking for university wise and things like that. Anyway, so this is the long march to get the paper accepted. Okay, as you may see, especially good journal, the top journal A and A star, we have to really go through all the challenges. You agree? First round, second round, third round. Okay, so usually by the time it is published officially, probably 1.5 years or 2 years later. Okay, my apologies. I'll slow down. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that it takes time. First thing, and second is patience, patience. And today I will share with I'll be sharing with you all. Okay, what do we mean by patient? Yeah, patient with a strategy in mind. Now, guys, there are 2 cars here. Yeah. And on the way, from our hotel, Central Park to here, 1.5 hour ride. Yeah, about that. Thanks to the traffic, I experienced the economic growth of Jakarta. It's a sign of strong economic growth. Yeah. So that's the thing. And I observed on the road, there are many cars, and mostly are Japanese cars. Okay, a little bit of German cars. Okay. Yeah. So guys, in publication it's the same to me. Sama-sama. Why? Because if you have a journal, this is a car, okay, like a journal, a good car. But if you publish in A Star or A Journal, top journal, it's a car, but it's a Ferrari. Yeah, it's a flashy car. It's a sexy car, okay? Yeah. And I know in some university, if you hit a Ferrari, you get promoted instantly. Yeah. So it's very interesting. These are all cars, but they are different cars. And I believe, okay, most guys here or ladies here probably we will prefer this one, right? The flashy one, yeah? If you can. Why not? Okay, so let's try. So here are some of the suggestions which I'm going into detail one by one, okay? And I welcome questions. Yep, so then we can be more interactive and engaging as well. Now the first one, when you publish, okay, what is the first step? Just start writing the journal, yeah? Or you ask a PhD student, okay, start the laborer's job, do some lead review first, blah blah, yeah? But to me, and I work with a team of collaborators, of course, okay? I should have mentioned that, yeah? I have collaborators I would say all over the world. Okay, I work with over 20, 30 different researchers. So we collaborate. You can see most of my papers are co-authored, with co-authors. So I work with people from US, for them University, Connecticut, okay, Arkansas, yeah, and then with UK, Derby, etc., and then of course Australia, and then with Asia as well, yeah, etc. And it's very important. And from me and my friends, our conclusion is that actually the first step, the most important first step, is not about like topic or what. It's actually about the journal. So first question, we should ask ourselves, which journal we are going to target? So for example, now we have decided we want to publish in IEEE computer. Yeah. So once we log in that journal, then it is much easier then. Yeah, very senang. Macam mana? So then we will do Google search. Okay, using Google Scholar or IEEE database if you have. Yeah. Start nailing down the IEEE computer journal. Get all the past 3 years or 5 years, the relevant papers. Okay, the same topic with the same keywords, and start filling. Okay, just like a boy, if you want to date the girl, you need to do some homework, right? What is her favorite fruit? Okay, what is her favorite color? Okay, yeah, what is her favorite movie? Yeah, you need to start thinking. Okay, so imagine you are sending this paper to that editor, yeah, of that journal. So what is his favorite items, okay, or his taste? Yeah, is he a quant researcher, quantitative guy, the editor? And naturally he will prefer more quant paper, or is this a qualitative guy? Then we need to start filling and do the research, and then submit the right paper to the right outlets, and therefore increase the likelihood of the paper being accepted. Otherwise, if you have an A star quality paper, but you send to the wrong outlet, you are driving Ferrari, but then you can't present it the right way. So then that's a waste of paper, and you got rejected. Then you may think, probably this paper should not try too high. We just go to average B journal, let's say. Then you're wasting your paper. Paper is our asset, right? As an academic, you agree? Yeah, it's our currency. It's our money. It's the money that we carry forever. It's on the CV. Once we hit, this say, IEEE computer, then it's there forever. You agree? Yeah, it's on our CV forever. Yeah. So that's why it's important to select the outlet. Okay, the first thing, which journal we want to submit. Yep. And then in Australia, we have a different, list. So of course, business school, we use ABDC, Australia Business Dean's Council list. Then for computer science school or engineering, then they use CORE, Computer Research and Education. And then also for information system, then they use ACFIS, Australia Council of Professor and Head of Information Systems. And in Europe, they have ABS. And my friend in Fordham University in USA, New York, they said they have this Fortune 50, is it? Yeah, 40 it was 50. Now, since last year, it was Fortune 50 list. Okay, so those journals that are listed in the Fortune 50, then only they can apply for tenure. Very, very tricky, yeah. So they have limited journal. So that's why it's very important. And if I were you, I will send my paper, the abstract first, to the editor to test. Okay, dear editor, we'll be interested in this paper, okay, and this is our direction. But probably, most editor will say, yeah, please submit, because 100, 200 words of abstract, it tells not much. But then you start a conversation, okay, hi darling, are you free tomorrow? That's too straight, right? You might just, did I see you somewhere? You see what I mean? So we start the communication, the conversation with the editor. Okay, send the abstract first. Then the editor might be looking forward to that. Probably, it's the theme or the topical, or the so-called hot topic of the year. Like now it's like Internet of Things, okay? Then you start, okay, getting the attention of the editor. That's very important. Especially for a good journal, every month I heard they have like 300 paper, submission. It's very common. Top journal A star, if you look at the serial number, the sequence number, sometimes you have like 2,000 plus. This is very common. That's why they have 20, 30 associate editors. Yeah. So this is common. So we don't want to get buried the paper. So we need to start, okay, planning. So next one, an example. So this is in Australia's this one, the office list. Okay, just to give you an idea. So in future, if you would like to submit, a paper, where to submit, perhaps these are the outlets we can refer to. Okay, so this is for information school. So these are the A star. Okay, so the whole world, I don't know, we are having how many information system journals? That discipline journals, at least 1,000, 2,000, probably more. Yeah, but the whole world in Australia definition, these are the so-called A star journal, 13. Only 13 are considered A star. Okay. Means the pinnacle of the research. So like the sample I shared with you just now, the Justice, the journal, this one, okay, which I've published a couple of papers out there. I will share with you and I show you the cover letter, the response statement, all those insights, and then you have a clearer, view and understanding how we can nail it. And of course, there are other A journals as well, yeah, and things like that. BNC, forget about it, okay? Oops, sorry. Okay. Now, my friend, first thing, after, okay, we nailed down, okay, we have decided which outlet, journal to submit. Then the next one, I believe, is the title. Yeah. So, how do you guys usually come up with a beautiful title? Yeah. To me, title is actually an art. Yeah, it's an art. Okay, because most of us, when we look at the paper, first thing we look for is a keyword, right? And the keyword means the title. So here, some suggestion for you guys, okay? I believe these are the three important matters, okay? First thing is the purpose of the paper. Okay, what is the objective of your paper? And then the context. Is it a case study in Indonesia or case study in Thailand, for example? Okay, or the methods. Are you using, say a worldwide survey, okay, or a comparison study between Indonesia and Australia, for example? That method instantly, okay, that title, like this one, let me give you an example. So identifying business intelligence success factors. So what is the purpose here? Okay, identifying the success factor, you agree? Yeah, and what is the context? Context is BI system, business intelligence. And you can change. If you are studying ERP system, enterprise system, then you can just change here, okay? Or CRM system, okay? Or SCM, supply chain, yeah, you can just change the context. Yeah. But instantly, I believe, okay, the editor will appreciate, this paper is about that. And hey, what about the method? which method they use, yeah? And then they will say, we're using case study, or a Delphi study, or a cross-examination between East and West. You see? Then the whole thing together is a brilliant title, because it has provided all the essential info, and it helps the editor to select the associate editors as well as the reviewers. You know, editing a journal, you know, managing a journal is a very time-consuming task. You know, yeah. So this will help him to identify the right, peers, okay, the referees for you, and therefore, you know, so that the right paper sent on the right to the right hand, okay, and they will appreciate your work. You agree? So that's my tips. First thing, yeah, how we can come up with a good, attractive title. And of course, you know, title there are many different ways. Some people may provide, you know, this kind of suggestion as well. They will say chicken or egg? Question mark. Then examining say the cause of say BI system failure, okay, or ERP system failure against blah blah. But immediately, okay, they throw you a bomb, boom, okay, and then you start, okay. So okay, and some people they prefer this kind of semicolon as well, because then you can, you know, instead of very, you know, lengthy 20-30 words kind of title, but you can, you know, break it, okay, into a chunk. Yeah, agree? Yes? Yeah. Great. Let's move on. Next one is the table of content. Because some people may say, hey, I'm writing just a research paper, okay, 30 pages, 40 pages, yeah, 10,000 words. Why should I need a table of content? It's not, you know, a 1,000 word, the PhD thesis. Hey guys, table of content is very, very important. Yeah, I believe most of us are using Microsoft Word, right, to do the, yeah, unless you are engineering, then you use LaTeX, blah, blah, yeah. But actually, table content will help us to navigate as well. Okay, we as a, you know, author or co-author, yeah. Yeah. So table content is actually very important. Try to enable the functions. Then it will help us to jump around as well, and then we can feel, okay, the flow and things like that. And guys, when we look at this table, okay, so, okay, imagine now you've got a paper on your hand. Okay, you need to review this paper, okay, to do a favor for the editor, okay, because you've got a paper published there, and you need to give back, yeah. So for me, most of the time, the first thing I read is title. You agree? After that, abstract. Yes, abstract. Yeah. What about the third thing you read? For me, it's the conclusion. Conclusion. So what are the new thing? What are the unique stuff? Okay. What is? So what about this paper? Why should I accept it? That's a question I ask myself. Why should I accept it? Yeah. If I can't find a reason from the conclusion, I will start, you know, thinking, probably this paper a bit half-baked, okay, or too early, premature, blah, blah, blah. Then I will look for the reasons to reject this paper. You see? Because we need to justify, yeah? We need to justify our decision. Then after conclusion, the next thing I will be reading is the introduction. Okay? So, okay, this guy claimed they have, found a new method, okay, and then, they have justified, okay, and substantiated the findings based on empirical study, okay, experiment, blah, blah, blah. Now I go back to this introduction. I ask, so, these two, sections, intro, conclusion, are they tally? Yeah. So, has the conclusion answered all the introduction's objective or the research questions? You see the way I do, okay? Next, only I will look at the methodology, not only review. Mostly review is paraphrasing. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, yeah, that's why we need Terapung. I'll share with you why Terapung has helped me so much. Yeah. Okay, so I will look at read review methodology first. Then I will see, is this a systematic research, well organized, rigorous, robust? Do I agree? Okay. What about the validity? Okay. If I'm convinced, hey, this is something interesting, I must pay more attention, okay? Because to reject, after methodology, usually I can make a decision. Should I proceed or just reject? Then usually when I reject, I will use the methodology. This methodology, okay, is not convincing, the sample size is too small, okay, or there's imbalance between the cross-country comparison. US you have 300 samples, but in Australia you have only 50 samples, blah blah blah. You see? So I can reject easily, and most of the time, 8 papers will be rejected based on the methodology alone. Because all research, methodology is the foundation for all research. Whether you're from business school, engineering or law or medicine or psychology, yeah, or marketing. Yeah. Because when I was working for UPA, okay, at this university, research committee, okay. So I represent my faculty of IT, okay, as a deputy dean for research. Then I look at psychology or marketing. I was a bit at first a bit reluctant. How on earth I know psychology or marketing? Yeah, I have never studied a marketing subject in my life. But I look at the 5 pages proposal, okay, it's just about 5-6 pages. Actually, I got attracted because the methodology is the same. They use case study, interview, Delphi study, similar methods. It's just a context that is different. Yeah, just the context. So then you just treat, okay, they say consumer behavior or online consumer behavior, just treat it like an Xbox, okay, Xbox, or whatever, black box. So it's just a context. So I don't know much about that, but look at the method. Am I convinced? So methodology is so much important. Okay, just like the structure, okay, of our building. Methodology is a structure. How we conduct the research, how we justify the research, and how we can claim. Yellow plus green, we get what? Yellow plus green, we get? No. Okay, red color plus blue color, we get purple. Yeah, purple. Yeah. We get purple. So that's a good research. If you get this, and then we can regrade, okay, and we run the test, and we get the same purple color. Yeah. So that's a good research. A bad research means if you combine again, you get a blue, whatever, or okay, a green color. That's a bad research. That's why methodology is so much important. Yep. Agree? Yep. Next one. Okay. So next time, okay, please pay attention to that. Now I would like to share with you, okay, my personal cover letter, just for us, okay, just for us, and I believe cover letter is also the next thing that is very important after the abstract. So this is an example. I got it from my internet, okay. Yep. So you can see here, this is a very standard template. Journal editor name, title, okay, and the journal name. Journal editor name is so much important, okay? I've seen some papers, submitted to my journal. So as a chief editor, I will felt not embarrassed or upset if this guy put in the former editor's name. So who am I? So what do you mean? Yeah. Then so you need to really check. Usually two years contract, they might change an editor. So please make sure you change. You check again. Then of course, dear blah blah blah, okay, and make sure, okay, you change the journal title as well. Because sometimes, okay, our paper might got rejected in the previous round. Now we submit to a journal, so we forgot, we might forget to change the journal name, and that's a bad sign. As an editor, I will say, this paper has been rejected somewhere, so probably I should do the same, yeah. Yeah. So be careful, okay. Yep, and all those things, yeah, and summarize the problem, yeah. This is a chance for us to sell, okay, sell the paper to the editor in one, page. On one page, yeah. So summarize the research problem, and then your main finding and your conclusion. So what are you trying to do, to achieve? And then did you do that in a systematic fashion? And have you achieved the objective? What's new? Yeah, this is very important. What's new? If someone has discovered red plus blue, you get purple, and you say now you get dark purple. Is it something new or novel? It's just another purple. Seriously, okay? Yeah. Or light purple. No, that's not a good research. That one you can get the B journal. Yes. Yeah. But to get new one, then you have the new finding. Yeah. Then you will say we get green because we have another variable included. For example, can you imagine what I'm trying to say? Then that is considered outstanding. Then if you still somehow getting dark purple, okay, for example, but you need to turn, okay, turn. Be smart lah, okay. Means okay, the wording which I will be sharing shortly. What are the key phrases we can use to highlight, okay, the contribution, and as if that dark purple look like green, and you feel like green, although you see it as a dark purple. Interesting, yeah. That's skills. That's why I call it an art. Yeah. So now let me show you an example. Hello, darling. Can you please open the word file for the cover letter? second one. Okay. Now, here is an example of my cover letter. So, how can I go down? Or can you please move down all the way down to the last line, please? Yep. All the way. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Yep. So as you can see, this is a co-authored paper with my mates in US. So Prof. Ren, she works at Fordham University in New York there. So now we want to inform or influence, okay? Influence the editor that this is a co-author paper, and then we claim this is a comparison study between USA and Australia. And now you see our sample, our authors also give the same story. Start again influencing the editor. And then please go back to the first line. Yep. Okay, thanks. Yep. Okay, great. Yep. Okay, good. Okay. So then, of course, as I said, this Dr. Mustafa is actually a relatively new editor for the journal. So luckily, we checked. Okay, when we wrote this cover letter, we checked again. We will see another lady, okay, from North Carolina. But now is Professor Mustafa. So we need to check. That's why I keep mentioning that. And then this paper we submitted to Justice, as I said, it's an A-star journal here. Then you see our title, okay, and then blah blah blah, yeah. And make sure you change, okay, to the right journal name. Okay, and then you see the yellow one. Okay, now in this paragraph we highlight the objective of our research. Okay, we will say this manuscript challenges the long-lasting crowdsourcing process in which the crowd members self-select tasks to complete blah blah blah. But we argue this, okay, blah 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 blah. You see, the sentence we start this word instead of saying this research aims to achieve A, B, C. No. That's boring. Get the editor feel excited. We challenges the traditional thinking that red plus blue you get purple. We think you get green. You see, then it was instantly that's something new, okay? Because all editors, they want to look for new ingredients. Excellent paper that will help to boost the impact factor. As an editor, okay, the main task, okay, the primary task is to boost the impact factor. Okay, if you can get the higher the better, right? So how to boost the impact factor? Means you need to get good papers. You agree? Then the paper will be cited by many other researchers in next 1 to 3 years. Okay, not more than 5 years. So they have only limited time. That's why that impact factor. That's how we get it. So we say our reason, and then what we have found, blah blah blah, and what we believe, and then method. You see, using a hybrid approach, we conducted 2 case study, and then blah 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 blah, and then what we have done. You see, so objective, method, blah blah blah, right? So that's the second communication after abstract, the cover letter. Some people just ignore this process because some journal I know they may make this as cover letter as an optional process. No. Okay, actually cover letter, this is the best chance for us to communicate to the editor. Right? You agree? So please next time make use of the cover letter. Okay? And feel free to use the template that I have. I will share the slide with you, okay, after this. Yeah. And then make use of that. Alrighty, let's move to the next slide then. So that is cover letter. It is very, very important. And a good cover letter will really influence, okay, bad word, influence, impress the editor, trust me. Okay, and that is what we want to achieve. Okay, if we manage to influence him and impress him, okay, then he will have this feeling. Probably I should move on to next stage. So he will not just reject your paper. You believe? Okay, so he will spend time, okay, looking for an appropriate associate editor because he get a big picture about your paper now, okay, at least an idea. And then he will look for 3 more peer reviews, sometimes 5, because out of 5 only probably 2 or 3 will accept the review invitation. That's why it's a very lengthy process. Then move to the next round. So that's how we can pass the first hurdle, the desk reject. Cover letter, that's the key. And trust me, okay, Larry and editor will read your whole paper, your 30 pages paper during the initial stage, that's rejection stage. Larry, imagine, okay, every month they have 100 papers. How many hours they have per month to read 100 papers, right? You agree? So they will just scan through, okay, look at the structure, the figures, the tables, that's it. And then look for the cover letter and abstract probably, abstract maximum. And then they will send out. Yeah? So how to avoid that's reject first thing? Because that's the first hurdle. Yeah? Next one. So next one is abstract. As I said, sorry. Abstract is so much important. Because this is the thing that most editor will read to make a decision. So I reject or move on. And most of the time, okay, as an editor, I will love rejecting because it will save my time. So on what ground I will reject a paper? First thing, this paper, the theme or the topic is not in alignment with my journal. My journal is about business intelligence research. Now you are talking about CRM research or supply chain. I go away. Okay, I'll be very happy. Okay, save my time. Or second, okay, this topic is too traditional. Okay, people used to do this just 10-15 years ago. Now you're still repeating the same view. And your reference list, today, what was the date? 2017. But your reference, the latest one, 2014. I know this must be an old paper, recycled paper. You know what I mean? Then again, I'll reject. I will say, this research is not up to date, blah, blah, blah. So that's why, okay, all those, small thing, but it adds up, okay, to a big sum. Now, abstract, as I said, very important. It's so important because this is a thing most people will read, including your future, PhD student, whoever, everyone, okay? Yeah. So how can we write a good abstract then? And here I have a gift for you, okay? A gift. Why? Actually, an abstract is just a Q&A session. Just take it a simple Q&A session. Yeah. So how to write a good abstract? This is my structure. First thing, I have this question, purpose. So what is the objective of your research? Yeah. So like this one, this is a paper I co-wrote with my PhD student. He was doing research on e-commerce adoption, okay, in SME. So that's the purpose. So we answer, okay, the purpose, the context. Then second one, the methodology. And then we use a poster survey questionnaire, and then we use a quant analysis method. Very clear? How we collect the data, poster survey. How we analyze, quant methodology. Yeah. Third one, the findings. So what are the key findings? So we say that, okay, positive, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then, so what? So what? What's new about this paper? Yeah? Anything? Takini, we have Berita, Takini, yeah? So do we have findings Takini here? The latest, okay, anything new? Then we ask. This research reveals, you see the keyword here, reveals the significance of organic culture and how it affects e-commerce adoption, blah, 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 yeah. And then, in terms of research contribution, there is a practical implication. So what? Then research-wise, to the scholarly field, to our community. So in terms of originality, the value. This study is the first to research this one, blah, 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 and then it fills the research gap by advancing the understanding, blah, 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 organic culture, e-commerce. You see? That's the keyword. So guys, by just answering these 5 questions, we can come up with a good abstract. That's it. So next time, okay, how to write an abstract? Don't worry too much, whatever. Just ask your PhD student, your research student, answer these 5 questions. Okay, and of course for each question you can have 2 lines, sometimes 2 lines, okay, maximum 3 lines. Yep. If too many, then you will, usually most journal, I think they allow up to 150 words or 200 words per abstract, yeah? So that's just enough. Feel free to take a picture. This one, I think, one of the most useful thing, my PhD students agree with me. Yep. And let me, okay, I'll show you a sample. Can we please, the IMDS journal? Okay, I'll show you how this journal, they use abstract to assess. So far so good, my friend. Yep. Okay, I'll try my best to say what I know here. IMDS, the 4th one, IMDS, yes.
Excuse me, W.
Yes.
Maybe if there are some questions
Yeah.
specifically about the first part,
Yes.
or the abstract, maybe ada yang ingin bertanya mungkin dengan cover letter juga tadi. Apa? Apakah ada? Oke?
Yes.
Ya, baik. Supaya nanti jangan lupa ya. Nanti juga kalau sudah selesainya nanti juga ditanyakan ya.
Comments,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
No,
Okay.
when they digesting it.
Oh, okay, good, good. Okay, great. That's all right. Now we move to a sample paper. Okay, okay. Let's move down slowly, please. Yeah. To the abstract. Okay, so guys, this paper was published some time ago, yeah, in a journal of this one, Industrial Management and Data System. This paper published in that journal. Impact Factor 2.2 is a Scopus and SCI index paper. Okay, let's move now to the abstract. The first page abstract. Yeah. Keep going. So Dr. Ishan is my PhD student, co-supervised with Professor Warren and Scott as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Abstract. Yes. Okay. Yeah, guys. As you can see, this journal actually, because I'm on the editorial board. Okay. So yeah. So they have this structured journal as well. This structured abstract. Okay. So instead of like the traditional abstract method, we put everything together. This journal actually prefers that we write the abstract in that structured fashion. So that's why how I said the structure is very important, because by answering this question, then that's it. So let's move now a bit. Okay, yeah, keywords. Okay, yeah. Okay, the next thing is the keywords, guys. Keywords. Okay, for example, this paper is about organization culture, SME, e-commerce, these keywords are very important because it helps the editor to identify the peer reviewers, the referees as well as the associate editors. So selecting the right keywords is very important. If you're not too sure about one keyword, you better don't put it. Don't put the keyword. Let the editor decide. Otherwise, most of the time, how an editor select a reviewer is by keyword. Yeah. So let's back to the slide. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. So next slide. So that is about the abstract. Next one is lead review. Well, usually, I give this kind of research training workshop over 2 days. But today I try to put everything within an hour or so. So I need to hurry a bit. So next thing is lead review. Guys, lead review to me is like standing on the shoulder of giant. Just like what Newton said, we are standing on the shoulder of the giants. Because if we ignore lead review, means we do not know much about the field, the research field. So what we're trying to achieve is actually to create a dark green within that new mix of color. So we need to recognize the importance of red color and therefore the authors of the field and the relevant researchers. So how can we justify that we do understand the field? That is through literature review. So there are a few suggestions how we can actually structure our lead review. It depends. Depends on your depends on your discipline. The most common one, of course, is general to specific. Remember the reverse triangle? So we talk about, say e-commerce, and then e-commerce adoption, and then maturity model, and then as for SME, then it will come to that dot, which is the research question. Or by topics, or category, or in this the time frame, over the chronological fashion. So in the 60, we have this X machine, 70, 80, give people a feeling of this, the time development. Or we can use the classical approach, key literature. So means e-commerce is about this, and mobile commerce is about that, by topic, blah blah blah, And of course, combined approach, we combine the whole thing. So it's up to you to decide, lead review, But I would suggest, most of the time I told my PhD student, it's best to create a table, a summary table. So then we will say, so these are the key e-commerce literature. Mr. Smith has done this research focusing on government sector. Mr. Peter has done this focusing on private sector. Here, key finding, and then author's name. Create a table, okay? Author, year, and then of course, okay, the key findings, okay, or the context, yeah, and then by year. And then we can justify easily based on that table, okay? Let's say we have reviewed 10 papers, yeah, 10 papers, and then we will say, you see, most of the author, they have done the research on SME, yes, but they are focusing on government or private sector, but not on SME, okay, or micro, enterprise, which is 5 to 20 people. Then there's a gap of research, obviously, unless you miss out a key literature. You agree? That's how we can tell, okay, tell the editor. See, we have identified the gap, we have managed to identify the gap, and this is what we're going to do, fill in the gap through this research, blah, blah, yeah? So at least that's the first research contribution. You agree? Even before we find anything new, yeah? Then next one is a theoretical contribution, okay? Yeah. Like all research, an academic research without academic contribution or theoretical contribution, then probably that's not a very good research, yeah? So that's why, how can we justify? In information system, we have this wiki page. If you can just click the link, yeah. Some researchers, I think in the States, yeah, they have summarized all the important theories in IS, information system research, okay. I believe for marketing, you have your theories as well, yeah. And for others, okay, extra. So we need to use a theory. And theory is not literature, okay. Theory is a common sense, okay, like the what do you call? If a cow, okay, a cow cross the road, and then all other cows, okay, they will follow the leader as well. So you call that like the herd factor, okay, the herd factor. Yeah, and then if say a company they solve a problem on an agile basis. This problem, okay, they give this solution. That problem, they give that solution. It's like rubbish bin theory. And that's a formal name called rubbish bin theory. You know that, right? Yeah. So that's why theory is important, because it tells the world, we do understand the field, and this is a common scenario, and this is a theory that substantiates this research. Yeah? So, is the link not working? Oh, that's fine. Okay, that's okay. Let's just skip that. Oops. Next page. Yep, okay. Okay, so theory. Next one is the research implication. So research implication is the so-called so what question. So what? Okay, how can this help the e-commerce stakeholders? How can this research, okay, help the e-commerce practitioners, the government, okay, so that they can come up a better policy for this e-commerce adoption? What about for the e-commerce service provider, okay, the industry? That's so what to the relevant stakeholder. So we need to ask ourselves, so what? So how we can help? Yeah. Okay. And if we look, let me see if I have time. Next page, please. Okay. Yep. Okay. Before I go back to the example again, the other thing I would like to share, and I think is very important, is the quality of communication. Quality communication. I'm not talking about your English or whatever language. Okay. It is about the keywords of the paper. It's not the e-commerce keyword, okay, the one under the abstract, but it is the keyword within your research article. Yeah, and we call it as structural keywords, and this is very, very important. Let's click this link. Hope it works. And this is tips, guys. Feel free to take a picture now. This is very useful. Just type this keyword using Google Scholar. Ask Google. Google is fine. Facebook, Manchester. Okay. Yeah, that website, that's the best thing I have come across. Okay, the Manchester Uni, they have organized all the important keywords from abstract, introduction, lead review, conclusion, findings, everything. So for each section, they have summarized the keywords, and they provided like 10, 20 examples for each one. Like for example, say the conclusion, okay? Let me show you. Hopefully it works. Okay, any questions or comments while we are waiting for the internet?
Silakan.
Yes.
Dalam dua oh ya, oke, silakan Mbak.
My name is Senin from Kuningan University. My question is for literature review. Sometimes some other research use the word theoretical framework,
Yeah.
or other. Which one should be used? For example, literature review for what kind of research, and then theoretical background or theoretical framework for what kind of research.
Okay, so may I know which faculty you're from? Business school or what's your discipline?
From education.
Education.
Linguistic
Okay,
education.
great. Linguistic education. Great. That's a very good question. So our friend here asked, okay, sometime in lead review, we may come across, like the keyword instead of a lead review, they use like theoretical framework or theoretical background, okay, or sometimes theoretical model. Actually, what are the key differences between this? Okay, lead review is a general term, you all agree, right? So mean it's the reverse triangle, the first layer, okay, the big layer, okay. But this theoretical framework, this is where we have summarized the findings. Okay, summarize the key literature. We have provided a table, identified the gap. Now we're going to tell the world what are the theories, okay, we are using, or the key literature, okay, we are using to develop the research. And we call it as theoretical framework because we are borrowing X theory, Y theory, and Z literature. And then we put them together. Sometimes we can put, three circles. Okay, so X theory, Y theory, and then Z, and then yours is the middle. So we apply key theories, and that thing is known as theoretical framework. Theoretical model is different, okay? Theoretical model is like a sausage machine. Okay, you put in, okay, this X, Y, Z, and then you get this X, Y, Z out at the end of the machine. So model means every time we put in, we get this. That is research theoretical model. Research model is something like along the lines of theoretical model. But research model may not necessarily apply a theory. That's why it's known as research model. Correct? But theoretical model means we have adopted a theory. That's why it's known as theoretical model. So what about theoretical background then? Theoretical background means we are not building a framework or a model, okay? But we are now referring this research based on X theory. Let's say rubbish-bin theory, okay? So that is a theoretical background. Means we need to explain what is rubbish-bin theory, okay, or what is X theory. That is the background for this research, and therefore we call it as theoretical background. Lead review is a high level. Means we cover the context, okay, the scope, blah blah blah. That kind of, those high level. Theoretical background is the middle layer of the reverse triangle. Can you imagine? Just try to imagine. Yeah, let's imagine this is a reverse triangle. So literature review, theoretical background, theoretical framework, and sometimes you may have a theoretical model here. Yeah. So this is how we can come up with a theoretical model. I hope I've explained my understanding to you. Yep. Yeah, great. What about others? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Todo from Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing India. I'd like to refer to your slide about literature review comprehensiveness.
Yes.
Here you state that the article or abstract has to cite an appropriate range of literature sources. Could you elaborate more on that? Do you mean by with I have to cite from journal article, textbooks, etc.?
Yes.
And then second question, is any significant work ignored? Now, who will judge whether I have covered the significant work or not?
Yes.
Is it the editor or me?
Yep, good question. So which school you from? The discipline of faculty?
Language institution.
Language.
Foreign language institution.
Okay, language. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, sir. So that's a very good question. Okay, first question. Is there any significant work ignored? Okay, let's say now you submit to Justice, which is an A-star journal, and most of the reviewers, okay, they should have published at least a paper within the journal. And okay, imagine okay, you are say a professor in education research. Okay, you'll be happy, right? If you see a paper, I mean, whoever the authors, okay, that they have cited your paper, you'll be happy, right? Okay, and you believe your paper is the key, literature in that field. And now you realize as a reviewer, gee, this paper did not cite, okay, let's say my paper or that author's paper, the key paper. So means this paper, something is wrong. Either these are new PhD student work, first year PhD student work, so they might have, neglected or overlooked your key literature, or they do not understand the field that, deep enough. So means the paper is half-baked, you see? That's why we are standing on the shoulder of giants. The key literature are the giants. Yeah, we build on, based on that. That's what we call academic research. Yeah, any grounded research, so-called grounded, theory or grounded research, they claim themselves as new exploratory, blah blah blah. But trust me, they are still based on literature. Just the method, okay? It's a method that's different. So that's why it's very important. Okay, a good journal reviewer, they will know instantly, just looking at the review. Is this review comprehensive and up to date? So from that's why the keyword is so important. So how can we do a good lead review, guys? Very easy. As I said, now we're going to submit to X journal. Okay, Google the journal. Yeah, look at the lead review for the past 3-5 years. Okay, then you can paraphrase. Of course, in paraphrasing, you need to paraphrasing. This is welcome in academic. Yeah, as long as we apply the proper technique and then proper referencing. This is welcome. Means okay, we understand the work and this is what we think. Okay, and we argue, we cite accordingly. And to avoid any issue, of course, we use the detail. I'll come to that shortly. But okay, the lead review is so important because it tells the world you understand the field and how you can make a new contribution within the field. You agree? And how we can make, our claim, substantiate our claim. We have made a new contribution. Means this lead review will justify. Mr. X has done this, Mr. Y has done this, Professor A has done that. Now we're extending their works into next level. Okay, and then we have combined we come out with a hybrid model, okay, or an integrative model, blah blah blah. You see what I mean? That's why it's very important. Next question, then the other question is, how can we be sure that we have cite and appropriate source? Guys, if you want to submit to good journal, please cite only good journals. Don't cite any the Patan journal, okay, or say Chinese language journal, okay. Yeah, forget about that. Don't cite any textbook. Again, research journal must be vigorous, yeah, and peer review, yeah, and that's why we cite only those good journal that has met this criteria. Agree? So to submit that's what I've learned so far, okay, and no book chapter as well or conference paper if possible, unless that conference paper is very special because it's written by very famous professor of the field, and conference most of the time is they provide the latest findings because it's the avenue. Okay, we can share our findings. Yeah, but journal sometimes good journal 2-3 years only your paper get published. Yeah, then you can cite only that you can cite. Otherwise, try to avoid book chapter text. Okay, the Patan journal or whatever. Cite only those good journal because and most likely your paper will be reviewed by one of the references there. The authors of the references. And for me, how can I select my reviewer? For my research journal, very easy. Look at the citations, the reference list. Yeah, if he is on the board, easy, instantly. And he'll be very happy to review your paper because that author knows the field inside out. And he will know that if you have cited correctly or not as well. If not, then the comment will tell you, you should cite that paper, blah blah blah, and then give you a comment. That's a good comment. That's a communication. A paper is actually a communication, right? A storybook in a systematic, organized structure. We are communicating with the reviewers. And who will read your paper? Not editor, most of the time, only the 2 or 3 reviewers. That's it. So we are, that's why that communication is very important. And make sure we cite the right source. And make sure everything, the reference list is checked properly. That's why we need proofreader, we need 30 to make sure, all these are, well covered. Okay, let's move on. And just now we have seen, guys, this is a treasure. Okay, today we are on gold mine. Okay, please feel free to take a photo. You see this one, Manchester Uni. They have summarized those important so-called structural keywords of phrase bank. and they organize, in a very systematic fashion. You see here, how can we critique, read review, how can we describe a method or result, blah blah blah. Can we just scroll down a little bit, please? Okay, yeah, more, please. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay, you see, now we're trying to justify the importance of the topic. Okay, you see the keywords here. X is fundamental to, has a pivotal role. Is frequently blah 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 blah. Yeah. So guys, feel free to make use of these keywords. Okay, just go to this website. Yeah, it's free. So that ask my PhD student, especially during the first year. Okay. When you're going to write introduction, how to write a good introduction. Okay, come to here. This is how we choose one of the line. Okay, one of the example here. Of course, then you adapt it. Yeah. Then come to next one. The result. Keep going down, please. Okay. The next one, let's say the topics. Okay. You see, and then the important blah blah blah. You see, there are different examples, and your job is to just for each section introduction use one of those. Okay. Review, findings, conclusion. Then those keywords are very important nowadays. Okay, because time is limited. Yeah. So when we see this keyword, the research contribution of this paper is blah blah blah. Then we realize the whole paragraph is about that. Then another, the practical implication for this study, blah blah blah. You see, now then we're expecting that. Then it helps the readers and the reviewers, most importantly. Okay, then they understand the structure. So we are trying to, to help them, and therefore helping ourselves. Do you agree? That's why keyword is very, very important. Yeah. So that's how we can write a good paper. The structural keywords. Yeah. So go mind to share with you all. Okay. Now let's move to the next slide. How much time we have? 20 minutes. Okay, yeah, thanks for your, okay, good. And are you happy so far, so good? Yes? Well done. Excellent, okay. Yes, David? There's a question from the audience. The mic, please.
Thank you, I'm from...
Yes.
Thank you. I'm from Universitas Indonesia. I'm Sicilian. I would like to, because your background is business and law, my question about method of the, if we make the abstract, or also for put the method, and for your example is very simple.
Yes.
Yes. Regarding your experience, how about other methods like healthy, public health, and then IT, and other agriculture? Is it the same for we make the method for the abstract?
Yes.
My first question. And then how to make this good strategy if we to discussion for discussion.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a tough one.
Could make for discussion because it's very some other journal. They very style for discussion is different. Maybe you can explain for our discussion.
Sure.
Thank you very
which,
much.
yes, thanks. Which faculty you from or discipline?
My discipline is public health, but I tackle to IT journal, also agriculture, and then for business as management. Yes, maybe ground, but I take in our university, I tackle some other of journal like agriculture, etc. Agriculture, public health, and then business, also IT. This is best we to suggestion for other lecture to make good abstract, also good paper, how to make strategy like method, also discussion.
Yeah, two questions. Yeah, I got your question. Thank you. Yeah, that's a very great question. So first question is, how can we adopt the abstract structure that I have shown you earlier? Guys, okay, that is a general template for abstract, yeah? Of course. So that's why I asked you to look at the outlet, okay, the sample papers from the journal outlet you have decided to submit. Look at the sample. Some journal, okay, they may allow you allow you to have 300 words abstract. Very easy again. Use my sample, the template, and then ask a question. So they have this, abstract. Then you identify. This is objective of the research. This is the research method. This is the key finding. This is the practical implication, and that's the research contribution. Do reverse engineering. You see what I mean? Based on the journal, that sample, do reverse engineering. Then similarly, you have got a question. Yeah. So next one, very easy then. Yours also the same. Based on that question, answer again. Then you got it. So then your abstract is well covered, and it will be loved by the editor. Trust me, because it's the same structure. You see, reverse engineering is very important. Okay. Then number 2 question. What was the question again? Discussion. Yeah. Yeah, discussion. Well, guys, discussion is the most complex one. Yeah, it depends on the journal. Each journal, sometimes also there are different ways of discussing discussion. Okay, let me make it simple. Discussion usually means we are not too sure what we're trying to say. Probably about practical implication, research contribution, or some key findings, or we try to give some explanation of some interesting pattern. We're not too sure even ourselves, so we put under the keyword discussion. To me, okay, I don't like the word discussion. I prefer, under big discussion, you should have research contribution, practical implication, okay, or explanation to the, say, analysis 1 or table 2. You got me? We should actually apply sub-heading for the discussion. And that is a good discussion, because the authors do know what they are trying to say. You see? So sometimes, okay, you see average journal, they put everything together, and they're not too sure as well. Okay, anyway, so that's my suggestion, my personal suggestion, how we can come up with a good discussion. You see the structure? Yeah? Yeah, if you look at my sample paper, the IMDS one, okay, we have actually provided a subheading. Okay, the discussion about the findings. So we give some explanation why this graph, there's an outlier, okay, or why this, neural or fuzzy logic method, the result is higher or better than other methods. So it's very clear. We're explaining which one. Then research implication or practical implication. Then we also provide a very clear paragraph. The whole paragraph is about that. You see what I mean? That's a good discussion. Yeah. So next time again, the same. I would suggest to look at, the sample paper of the journal you want to submit, and then do reverse engineering. Okay. Then again, answering the question. Providing the relevant info. That's it. So, really, I have this good friend, okay, he's a professor at the Singapore Management Uni, SMU. He said that every morning, he will read one paper every morning. The first thing, okay, when he's in office. And how he read the paper, reading a paper takes an hour or more, yeah? But he will do reverse engineering. He will bracket. Then it will help his reading as well. So he knows this paragraph is about that paragraph is that. In future, how he can write a better discussion, blah blah. So that will train the mind as well. Okay, so I hope I've answered the question. Reverse engineering is the key. Beautiful. Anyone who would like to do PhD soon or sooner or later, feel free to approach me, okay, with information system as well. That's a side objective. Yeah. So we can, anyway, our friends here, okay, they have just visited Nikin last week. Okay, and we had some great conversation that we're going to have more collaboration in near future, joint conference and things like that. Yeah. So actually we have our friends already that have visited Nikin, and we have collaboration in the planning. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So this one is about limitation. Another important aspect for a good research paper is limitation. Like all research studies. Okay, there's always some kind of limitations, right? Yeah. So limitation is also an art. Okay, you're not trying to reveal too many holes, okay, or issues about your research. You know what I mean? I'm not asking you to cover your problem, but you should not be too honest, okay, to say why we, like giving some unnecessary info. You know what I mean? So this is an art. Means we just touch the limitation, Okay, because a good reviewer, they will pick up that's a problem and issue. But you also have touched that, you have mentioned that, but you don't have to go into too much detail. Yeah, and then you can explain why this is a limitation. For example, okay, say your sample size is focusing on only say Australia. And then you can say, okay, probably it may not be applicable to other country, blah blah blah, because of that. So people understand, okay, that is the limitation. Fair enough. And then future research can do, blah blah. So what I'm trying to say, okay, be honest about your limitation, but don't be too detailed. Okay? Yeah. And you must cover the limitation with a reason. Why is it a limitation? Okay, because it's a 3 years project, okay, Australia is already enough, yeah. So therefore, it should be left for future research. You see, the whole thing you cover, okay, and future research. And at the same time, if you can come up with a good future research, people will appreciate that because newcomers, then they can use your paper and then build on, standing on your shoulder and move on. Yeah. And just some strategy, okay, how we can also address those limitations here. For example, okay, let's say data problem, as I said, yeah. So you can mention that we have ethics approval, okay, or interviewer guides, things like that. Then what if someone argues there's a limited generalizability of your research? Okay, then another you can say we use multiple cases. So like case study research, okay. Then we can say because this is about replication logic. So unlike quantitative survey method, they are looking for sampling logic. Okay, the more the merrier. But for us it's case study, so it's about replication logic. So if we can repeat the pattern or get the same pattern over different cases, then it is a good research. So you see different kind of research method or theories. Then other things as well. Okay. Next one. Okay. So in summary, what are the critical success factors to get your paper published in an internationally peer-reviewed journal? Especially those good ranked Scopus Index journal, which I think your library welcomes that, yeah, Scopus Index. Yep. So I believe, in summary, of course, your topic is very important. Guys, you know why US they have a system called tenure system? Okay, in order to get tenure, this is what I heard from my friend. Yeah, in order to get tenure, we have to publish papers in good journals. And good journals usually, okay, they will say this year we welcome this kind of papers. Look at their research area or scope. Or this journal, particularly welcomes, these papers, okay, that topics. Then you work, okay, you gear your paper towards that direction, and your paper is more likely to be accepted. You see what I mean? So it means submit paper that the editor welcomes. That's the first clue. Of course, after you get a tenure, that's a beautiful thing at US system. Then you can do more fundamental research, 6 years research, something with big bang impact. Then of course, justified. Okay, any good research we should always borrow some theories, okay, to show that we understand the field and blah blah blah, and then justify. And of course, presentation of the paper, as I said, the structural keywords, apply it, yeah. And then the line of argument. If now you are at a corridor and then you meet your president or vice chancellor, okay, of the university, he asks you, so what is your research area, or what do you do? So in one sentence, okay, if say you're working on this paper, we should be able to tell the audience in the elevator, my research is about e-commerce adoption maturity in SME companies, because they are the neglected sample. Most e-commerce research, on the big companies, blah blah. And my research can help inform the government policy, and also, help this e-commerce provider to provide the right and adequate tools, okay, e-commerce tool to the SME. You see, in just 1-2 sentences, summarize the whole thing. If you can do that, it means you do understand your paper. If you say means you're still not sure what your research is about. Then we should ask our co-author, okay, or our friends to check the paper again, okay, critique each other. And actually, I have a suggestion. Means before we submit our paper to a good journal, it's always best to submit to a conference first. I mean, good conference, okay, that have a rigorous review and comments, detailed comments. It will help us. So I always believe, okay, test it with a conference, yeah. And sometimes, okay, good conference, they have great reviewers as well, like top researchers. And sometimes, okay, occasionally you may get the same reviewer for the journal as well. Yeah. So that's why test your paper with a conference first. Okay, and last one, the list is this responding to reviewers. Okay, guys, now congratulations, you get an email, okay, at the 7 a.m. in the morning. Woo. After 3 years of hard work, your research is now accepted conditionally with this great outlet. You see, normally when I see the email title, manuscript, ABC 1234, okay, dash 2017, 1234. I always like, okay, pray first before I read the email. Then look at that email, the first line, congratulations or what. It makes my day. But most of the time, okay, let's be honest, it will be the other way. This is fair enough, okay? Now I've learned the art, okay, of accepting, rejection. Because the comment, then next thing I look for, okay, is rejected. That's fine. I expected that because it's the first round. Okay, now I look at the comments. The comment, the constructive comment, okay, the critic. Look at that. Okay, are you agree with those? If yes means yes, your paper still has potential. If not, then okay, bad luck. Sometimes this is common, okay? Okay. Then if you agree, then the next round, you're more likely to get it. Yeah. That's my personal experience, okay? That's why I always welcome comment. Yeah, especially those the good one. So then okay, now congratulations guys. You have got the paper, you passed the first round review. Usually a good journal, 2 rounds, 3 rounds is common, sometimes 4 rounds, yeah. So then the next round is very, very important. If you just get a major review acceptance, okay, major review or R&R, yeah. So how can you nail in the next round then? Because you have only 50% chance. And this is very important. Responding to reviewers. Let's look at the sample for my word file. This is another diamond mountain. This is not just gold. Because my co-authors, okay, they are like very senior professors. And the most important thing I've learned from them is in responding to the reviewers. In addressing the comments. Okay, means we do the revision appropriately and how we can inform them we've done the right thing. Okay, and how we can convince them. So let's look at the folder. Yes. Okay. So guys, this is a sample from my own paper submission. So this is our so-called response statement to the reviewers. Okay, just for your reference. Yeah. So we got a major review for this paper. Okay, then if you just briefly scroll down to the last, slowly to the last page, yeah. Scroll down all the way, yeah, slowly. Okay, so of course first we repeat the questions. Okay, first let me begin again. Okay, this is the final diamond mountain I'm going to share with you. So all the way up first, sorry. Okay, of course you see here we say we wish to thank the 3 reviewers, okay, blah blah blah, make them happy first, okay, blah blah blah, as proof again, blah 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 blah, okay. And then we repeat the question. So we have 3 reviewers for this paper, and then we repeat the comment to the box, please. Okay, this study examines the chicken-egg relationship of online consumer review, blah blah blah, okay. We repeat that, and then okay, yep, and this is our response. You see. We appreciate, okay, we thank you, we're happy, you saw the potential, blah, 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 okay, okay, stop that, yeah, thanks. You see the keyword we use. We appreciate you, okay, and we are happy you saw the potential, and now we have tried to address your concern. Thank them, okay, and then try to start impress them or influence them. You saw potential, right, okay, now I've tried my best to address your concern. As you can see, we have addressed thoroughly and hopefully completely. Not to be too egoistic, okay? Hopefully completely, yeah. And then we hope that you have blah 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 blah. Please feel free, blah blah blah. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Then the next, research motivation can be activated, especially the importance. You see, this reviewer, he has identified an issue with the research motivation. He's not convinced. Okay, that this research warrants acceptance in this A-star journal, blah 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 blah. Okay, then we come back. Thank you again. Always start with thank you. We need to appreciate because they spend heaps of time, okay, at least half a day to review our paper, right? The 40, 30 pages paper. Thank them, okay? And most of the time, they have given good constructive review, most of the time, trust me, yeah? So we have now clarified the motivation, and it's in da-da-da. Okay, let's move down a bit. Keep going, yep. Okay, you see the technique we are using here. Okay, the whole revision here, 12 pages, okay? Let's scroll down, give an overall view first. Quickly scroll down, yep. Just keep going, all the way down. Yep, keep going, yep. Okay. Just look at the template first, okay? Have a feel. Remember, we have 3 reviewers, yeah? You see our formula again, yeah? And then our key findings, our revision, yeah? Blah, 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 blah. See, lots of hard work. It took us 6 months. That's why they give you 6 months for major revision. Yeah. Minor revision, 3 months, yeah? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Okay, what I'm trying to say here, revision means it's a chance. Okay, there's a chance out there. Okay? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now it's up to us. How are we going to address the concern? Means we have to do a lot of experiment again. Okay, we run the analysis, blah blah blah, and then sometimes they may suggest you to use another theory, okay, or come up with another modeling, okay, and then we have to run the analysis again. Okay, so guys, just remember this. Always try to keep the reviewers focused on the revision statement, on the response statement. If possible, try to avoid or let them review your paper again. You know what I mean? Okay, let's be honest. We are busy people, most of us. Reviewers are very busy as well. What they are concerned is, have you done what I told you? Okay, you listen, good girl. You listen, good boy. And then, are they convinced that you have done what they want? Okay, to 100% or 101%? Yes or no? Yes. Then they will just tick. Then they'll write a statement to editor. I'm happy with revision, okay, blah, 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 blah. That's it. You see, if they were given an opportunity to look back at the paper again, then they start reading again. I have overlooked, actually there was a problem with the research method. Oh, that's actually another major revision. You see, if they keep reading the paper again and again, more questions might be asked. And therefore, the likelihood of your paper get accepted after round 2 or round 3 is very little. You see what I mean? That's why we provide all the important info, okay, all the revision, everything on this response statement. So that's the key, okay, remember. Put the result there, put the figures, the table, the result, everything there. Then they will just keep reading this, and they will also read others' reviewers' comment as well. Remember now you are exposing all 3 reviewers' comment on the same page. Then they will read, I forgotten about that. Luckily this reviewer asked about this, and now am I convinced what they have done? Can you see how we address? That's what I have learned also from my co-authors. Yeah, they are very good at this. So sometimes, okay, you may think that the paper has a little chance, okay, of getting through, okay, that good journal. But the way you answer, the way you address their concern is an art. Of course, it requires major effort. So we have to, collect more data, okay, run more analysis, But after reading these 12 pages, if the reviewers are happy with your revision, then boom, bingo. And that's why, after round 2, we got minor revision, then round 3 just a minor thing. That's it, then we got it. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, but some the newbies, okay, then they will say, we have done the changes or the revision according to advice. Please see page 4, paragraph 2. Okay, means you are asking for problems. You're asking the reviewer to go back to the paper. And good reviewers, they will keep 2 versions. One is your original version, one is your new version. Then they will compare. You see, then they will say, this guy is playing me, just changing 1 paragraph and said it has been revised. You see what I mean? Probably he may get upset. Yeah? So try to avoid that. Just focus on here, okay? Focus on here. Big, yeah. Of course, a smart reviewer or editor, okay, like us, okay, after a while, okay, these are the tricks, okay, or tips, yeah? Then usually we'll go back again. But most of the time, okay, we make our decision almost after reading the 12 pages, the revision statement. We go back, we just want to check, okay, are we happy again with the overall? Because, you know, some journals, the associate editor, the senior editor's name will be there as well. This paper is accepted by senior editor, you know, ABC. So that's a responsibility, you know. We want to make sure only the best work is published. We have a duty, okay, responsibility to the research community as well. Okay, just like a researchers, okay. Yep. So just an example to share with you. Let's get back to the slide and wrap up the session. Any questions? So that's an example of the revision statement. Okay, next one. Okay, so the other tips I would like to share is always, okay, if possible, send your papers to a conference first and get some critical review. Okay, I need good conference, not those conference you pay and you go for holidays in Bali. Okay, or honeymoon, okay, in Hawaii. That's just waste of your work. Okay, because once your paper is published in that conference proceeding, you can't resubmit 100% puta again to another conference. It's a self-preservation. Yeah, so don't waste your paper, okay? It's your asset. Then also, if possible, try to work with good author. Okay, good author, because during that writing process, okay, we will learn from each other as well, and we grow together. And trust me, okay, most of the time, if you work with good authors, okay, or proactive one, okay, who respond to your email within 24 hours, 2 days, then you know these are a good guy, a proactive one. Then yeah, you should collaborate, yeah. And I always submit your paper the next day. Yeah, I learned it. Through my hard experience. Because usually when you finish writing, okay, at say 11 p.m. at night, okay, usually there might be some grammar or typo issue, okay, or some sentence, a bit too long or whatever. So always submit the next morning. Why? Not just submit like that. Next morning, okay, read through the paper, read through quickly, okay. Then usually you identify some minor issue, okay, or typo, fix it. Because cosmetics is still important one, right? We want to give the first best impression to the editor to pass through the first round, yeah. And okay, now after Diamond Mountain, I have some cheat. Okay, some souvenir. Okay, I'm a senior editor, now we call it section editor with this AJIS, Australian Journal of Info System, which is ranked A in APD series, and also indexed by Scopus and SCI, whatever, okay, everything. So, okay, this is a so-called insider perspective. Yeah. Now, before we submit our paper, actually, we should check, okay, make sure we tick all the boxes. Okay, imagine or ask your co-author, okay, to tick, okay. So, like this one, please provide oral assessment, okay, of the publishability of this manuscript, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ask ourselves, self, check. Then if we say this, probably we will say, okay, so minor revision, receive only minor revision, tick. And then we need to justify all those. What about the relevance to the journal? Very important, as I said, okay. E-commerce journal will not accept, probably supply chain topic. Yeah. Then of course, next, motivation. Okay, is the research important from both theoretical and practical viewpoints? You see, we need to ask ourselves: have we achieved that? Let me review current state of the research in the area. The story so far forms the basis. Okay, and therefore lead to this. Okay, next one, the theoretical development. Is it logically sound? Blah blah blah. Yeah. Check. Okay, make sure we tick. Next one, research method. Okay, how was the research conducted? Is it rigorous? Okay, justified. Then the experiment, the analysis. You see, and we need to tick all the boxes. Okay, and then implications. Okay, the contributions, and lastly, conclusion and limitation. And of course, grammar, spelling. Yeah, guys, very easy. Grammar and spelling. Don't waste your time. Okay. English is also my second language because I grew up in Malaysia. Okay, yeah. So always send to this professional proofreader or copy editor. Okay, don't save the $300, $200. Send to them because this paper will be your baby. Once it's accepted, it will be published there, and it will be there forever. The future student, whoever, okay, will read the paper. Make sure it's 100% polished, and you don't have to waste your time doing that. There's a professional proofreader doing this kind of job. and it's fully ethical and legal. This is a common thing. Okay, they will check the typo, everything for you. Yeah. So don't waste time on that. Yeah. So there's some tricks and tips I would like to share with you. Yeah, about publishing in international journal. And one of the things I have learned throughout my research journey is that I thank Terapung very much. Okay, and not because they, okay, I thank them so much because when I was a PhD student, okay, I have been started using this Terapung software to check my work. Why? Because sometimes, okay, we may have done our paraphrasing in the lead review, but have we done enough? Because close paraphrasing is still considered a form of plagiarism. We want to avoid that, right? We don't want to get into trouble. Yeah. So what we can do is actually use this tool like Terapung. Okay, just put the paper in, and then you don't have to worry about a thing, because they will check all the academic, databases, scopus, whatever, and then they come up with a similarity index, a report. Yeah, like like this one. What do we mean by self-plagiarism? For example, here. Okay, if we copy our own paper, okay, the whole paragraph, copy and paste from paper 1 to paper 2. Yes, that's your work. Yeah, own work. Yes, but that paper, that paragraph 1 has been published in an X journal. You can't just do that. Okay, we need to paraphrase, and we can cite our own paper. That's fine. To improve our own citation index, whatever, that's fine. But you need to paraphrase. If you really want to copy the important message or key points, then we need to use inverted comma. Yeah, and Terapung will help us to check that. So nowadays, okay, as an editor, all my papers, to my journal, have to be gone through this Terapung. If we found any issue, we will send back to the authors. Okay, you need to fix the paper. Don't cite too much your own papers. Okay, and that is a necessary one. So this is an example of a Terapung report, as you can see here. So it will tell us, okay, like this one, 22%, okay, from this source, 1% from that source, and they will highlight those sentences or the paragraph. Okay. So then, especially my PhD student works, okay, sometimes, okay, I may not have enough time, okay, to go through all the references myself. Then I will use Terapung to help me. Okay, did this student cite the right work? Okay, and has he, done the paraphrasing accordingly? Okay, enough, okay, to avoid any issues. So Terapung will help. So then we don't have to worry. Okay, before we submit, run through this. Even halfway, we can always run through the Terapung to give us a feel. Okay, yep, to what level. And at Indonesia University, okay, we are very lucky because all our students, including the undergrad student, all students, the whole university, 53,000 students and a staff member, we can access to Terapung. Okay, so our students' assignment, those are written essay. Okay, our students are written essay. They will use Terapung as well. Like this one, for example, like this is a group assignment. The student, you can see 3 international students here. So their index is only 10%. Means the assignment work, okay, is of high quality. Or at least original assignment. There is no issue, because anything less than 10, okay, or 15% is good. Of course, then we need to click, okay, and view the report also. Yeah, and of course this group, oh my God, this one with 89% plagiarism index, something is wrong. But this is an interesting case, okay, because this student resubmit their work, okay, and then and I forgot to change the setting, so the system checked against students' own work. That's why this index is so high, okay. But anyway, so another group as well, and then that's a good assignment. I'm happy, okay. So at the end, all students will submit their assignment through the Terapung system, the plagiarism check software. Then the markers, will be happy as well, okay. They know it's not original work. So in short, guys, writing is fun, okay. It's like riding on a Ferrari, boom boom, yeah. Especially if you get published in a good journal, because it is an asset, okay. It is a currency on our CV, and it's with us forever. So thank you very much, and let's keep in touch, okay, through LinkedIn, and this is my email. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mike, please. and some useful links for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm Lulu Trimulandari from University of Indonesia. I'm
Yes.
librarian in here.
Yep.
In your experience, what should librarian do as a research librarian in this process of research? Because this is very important for us as research librarian.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, as I know, UI is the #1 university in Indonesia, of course, and also the world ranking is 200 plus. Okay, it means that this is the best university. Okay, the best not only in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia as well. Yeah, so I'm very delighted to see that. I mean your university UI, okay, and your library has been investing a lot in this regard. So if I understand your question correctly, when you are moving towards a research library, yeah, how Terapung or this kind of effort can help, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, at Deakin and most Aussie universities, all their basic student thesis, okay, will be submitted to the digital library in PDF form because it's more convenient, okay. Unlike good old days, you buy your thesis, okay, like mine, you know, then only one student can borrow at one time. But now, you know, in digital library, yeah, all students can access to the thesis. But you know, okay, imagine, okay, a student get a digital thesis, and then they run through Terapung themselves, okay, and they found out some interesting color, okay, the other spectrum. What would they think, okay? UI thesis, you know, you see what I mean? Okay, let's just take it as a joke, yeah. So it's best as a research library, we go through this rigorous, you know, self-check process first. And if thesis come to us, we should run the Terapung report, okay? But of course, this is the last filter we can do. And all PhD supervisors here, actually you should do the work before you leave to the library, yeah. Before you submit formally to external examination, you should run it, check through, okay? For me, it's very easy, ask the student to do it, yeah. Okay, do it, show me the report, okay? I'm convinced. Then only you send for external examinations. Yeah. And then for external examiners, okay, they are so happy because they know you have done the right thing. Okay, so they wouldn't worry about those things. But then for until your stage, okay, sometimes they might whatever, but you run through again. Whatever thesis come to you must run through. Okay, or even just a research article come to library because our digital library we keep all, as you can see the example just now, we keep all our researchers research articles also in the digital library. So all those will come in, okay, we will run through. Then no problem. So we are safe, at least, you know, as a head of librarian, okay, we are sure our work, okay, is of best quality, okay, I mean the integrity wise, then you wouldn't worry about a thing. That's very important, to protect the name of the university, and also the profession of the work, and also the reputation of the researcher. Yeah. So that's why Terapung can help us. You know, in the good old days, you know, before this kind of software, I don't know how we're going to detect it. It takes ages. This is what happening to like the Germany, you know, the former defense minister. You may have heard about that story, right? Yeah. But today, okay, with this kind of digital technology, this kind of software, no way, okay, someone can cheat. So that's why the library should do this. I mean, to have this kind of software, okay, and all researchers as well. Before we submit, you know, sometimes it's just by accident, okay, or sometimes, you know, our students, we do love our students, our research students, basic students. But the problem is, okay, sometimes, okay, they might be still new, you know, and then they thought they have paraphrased enough, but who knows, okay? So the best is use the software to check. Then no worries. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yes. Sure. Yeah. Hello. Then you.
Okay, I mean not only for check will Turnitin or authenticate, but in the process of research, just like you write about the literature review, structuring literature review, and how librarian can do the help the researcher in this process of research. Not only check the Turnitin, we all do that
in after they have the research.
Yes.
But in the process for the research itself. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, actually, as a great university library, you can do more things. Okay, like organizing this kind of workshop. Okay, of course, in a more detailed fashion, like one day workshop on literature review writing. When I was a PhD student, okay, I attended all these kind of workshops. I mean, if times allows, yeah. At University South Australia, I did my PhD at University South Australia in Adelaide. So I love this kind of workshops because even until today, you see, I'm now actually, I got some of my presentation idea from those workshops. I did review all those things. So actually you can organize, and you don't have to do it yourself. I mean, you just organize, coordinate, and then you invite, great researchers from the uni, the best resource, free resource, they will come, or sometimes within the region, okay, or once in a year, have the so-called library colloquium or research day workshop, okay, and then have a few parallel tracks, yeah, and then invite, some great researchers, from Australia, whatever, overseas, okay, those really who has, a solid experience, who has done the work, and come and share. And then I believe that kind of process, learning process, okay, it will help your researchers, yeah. So and you are more neutral also because your library, okay. Most university there's always this kind of internal politics, okay, faculty, issues, yeah. But now your library, you are the neutral asset. If you do this, okay, there won't be an issue as well, and you can justify the budget easily, and it will help. More importantly, it will help. The researchers. Yeah, so library can actually do more things. Not only the literature review writing workshop, okay. There are a few other things like for PhD students also. You can target PhD students. How can they, access to the database? How can they make use of the database? Because as a library, every year you pay millions of dollars. I don't know in rupiah, probably billions of rupiah, okay, to this kind of expensive database, IEEE database, Springer, okay, etc. So. But then you look at the access, okay, the rate, probably 10-15%, okay, and yeah. So actually you can guess, you can predict from your system, the library system, who are the active researchers, okay, and who yeah. Actually you can know. But the point is, okay, we should not only let them know the database there, but train them to use. Okay, train them how to use LaTeX, how to use EndNote, okay, how to use Mendeley, okay, etc. And therefore, okay, it's a win-win for both. So actually, you can see now lots of things you can do. Your job just coordinate, yeah. Well, I'm happy to come back, okay, in future, okay, to organize like 1 day workshop, 2 days, yeah, like for my the other University to Kuala in Malaysia, yeah. Okay. Yes, last question.
Yeah, I'm the new user of Senin.
Yes.
I have just used it for about 2 months. Yeah, when I'm practicing how to use Trinity, yeah, for example, one of my friends' article will check, and it's got about 26% of plagiarism, something like that.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm still confused how to, for example, to revise,
yeah,
or to explain it to them.
Okay, easy. First thing, I would suggest to delete your reference list before you run through the 30 because most of the time you can see the similarity index, okay, is because of the reference list. Yeah, delete that reference list, okay, and because what you want to check is the content first, okay. Then of course second round you just put in the reference list and then check only reference list. Then you will make sure the format is there, blah blah, or the volume, the issue number of the journal. So separate it. Then that's the first thing, will reduce your index. Yeah. Then of course, if there's an issue like 26%, which is quite high, then double click the report. Yeah, double click, and then look at the so-called highlighted version. Okay, to what extent? If you have used, say, it's a quote, okay, inverted comma you have used, then it doesn't matter. Okay, and you paraphrase accordingly. Okay, with the source, blah blah blah. Okay, but it's still highlighted. Okay, then probably a bit of problem. So put more, effort, paraphrase again. Then make sure it's no problem. Then that should be fine. But at least, okay, you'll be sure. You're sure, very sure. I wouldn't worry, okay, about any incident or any accident or incident because I have checked through 30 I know, okay, I'm good. So that's very important. And 30 very easy there. It does the job. Don't worry. And it's cheap, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, imagine, okay, you have spent 3 years, okay, working on this case study, research, with your research team, okay. Now coming to the final stage of submission, because journal output is the submission. I mean, the output right of your research, okay, the evidence. So now coming to the last mile, okay, and you have spent so much money for proofreading, also everything. Why you save that a few dollars of the meeting license? You see what I mean? Yeah.
How many percents are allowed for publishing in Scopus index?
Well, regardless Scopus or non-Scopus, okay? Yeah, 1% is too much. But okay, as I said, delete the reference list, okay, and run it separately. Usually you should have less than 10%. That's the first thing. Then if, let's say 5%, that's still a risk. You need to look at the report, check the report, okay? Make sure, okay, it's okay. Yeah. Because sometimes, 30, 40 pages, research article, yeah. Sometimes just an accident, okay, probably, so just be careful. That's why you need to use the LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay. And any other final questions or comments or suggestions?
Any other comments or questions? Dr. Yo,
yes.
Can I then just use my privilege to ask? Yeah. Can you please give a little bit explanation about self-plagiarism?
Absolutely.
And then another thing is that you mentioned that it is very important just to test your article, that you submit the articles to a good conference.
Yeah.
Then what about that paper then? Will that be still valid to be submitted to the journal?
Yes. So good question. Yeah. 2 questions here. Let me answer the last one. Say you have submitted your paper to a conference and it got accepted, and therefore now it's published in a conference proceeding. Okay. So the key is, why we need conference? Because we want to get critique, we want to get constructive, suggestion, for the paper. But the problem is, it will be published in the conference proceeding. So what we have done, okay, is always submit a very short version of our lengthy journal article. 40 pages, we will submit only like 8 pages. Okay, 8 pages of the journal. So when we check the similarity index, it won't be an issue, probably 10 or 12%. You see what I mean? And of course, okay, we will put the source there. Yeah, so it won't be an issue. So always submit the short version of your journal. Okay, and then what was the first question again? Self-plagiarism. Yeah. So that conference, okay, and that journal is sometimes may be considered a form of self-plagiarism. But read the journal, the guidelines carefully. Okay, if they said you have modified or improved your paper at least 30% or more, then it's okay. Then that's okay. But the best way is very easy. Apply the acknowledgement. Okay, before the reference list, put that acknowledgement. This paper has been published. How about this? An earlier version of this paper, or a short version of this paper, has been published in ABC conference proceedings. We thank the constructive feedbacks of the conference reviewers, the anonymous conference reviewers, and this version we have incorporated, okay, the suggestions of the reviewers, blah blah blah. You see what I mean? So then we have acknowledged the conference, okay, we thank the reviewers, and now the journal, reviewer might be happy as well. Okay, this guy has actually done some, check already. So then you have on safe hands. It's not a form of self-plagiarism anymore because you have acknowledged, you have highlighted, and and it's a win-win. Yeah, got it. Great. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give a big applause to Dr. Lember. Terima kasih, Pak. Terima kasih. Well, terima kasih juga atas pertanyaan-pertanyaan. Nanti katanya akan ada hadiah nggak ya, Pak, ya, dengan bertanya ya. Baik, I think this kind of session is very important. Then I really hope that both the sponsors and also the University Indonesia Library can organize this kind of sessions in the future. Banyak sekali yang harus kita pahami dalam waktu in a very short period. It's only 1 hour and a half, no, less than that. Yeah. But there are so many things that we learn. Sekarang tiba masanya kita memberikan kesempatan kepada pembicara kedua, Bapak Fuad Gani, SSMA, Kepala Perpustakaan
Universitas Indonesia. But what? Let me, because otherwise this is actually my job, right? I have to read Pak Fuad's CV first, yeah. His name is Fuad Gani, yes, and the institution is from Faculty of Humanities, Pak Yu, Universitas Indonesia. He is a lecturer, a senior lecturer from the Department of Information and Library Science. Then, yeah, his affiliation is to the Regional Research Council of Jakarta. So from 2009 until now, today, yeah. Then he is also a member of Pacific Rim Research Libraries Alliance, as well as AUNILO. Right. The education is English literature and then information studies from Loughborough University in the UK. Then currently, hopefully in what? In 1 month time maybe, he will be finalizing his doctoral program. Okay, let us give big applause to Pak Fuad. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi menjelang siang. I try to mix my delivery and also spell in Indonesia. First of all, we try to talk about the library, what is actually the library activities operation that people still consider that is a very easy business, that in fact is a very complicated business. We try to run all over this library in professional way, professional manner. Next up. As you see that when we try to get the services to the library, there is so many factors or some kind of units or many kinds of activities that we try to do. That is about human resources, about faculty promotion and everything. That is not easy to try to operate the library. And some people think that when you try to see the library, think that only try to guys borrow and lend books. That is not one. That because the modern library try to give or contribute to many kinds of the activities or services that is valuable for the user satisfaction. You see that highly demanding user that no, because the user is a very critical no when there's something wrong. For example, in UI we try to allocate so many kinds of journal database and everything from the renowned or international publisher. And it means that is about the money. OE allocate about more than 26 billion rupiah a year, and 80% of our allocation go to subscribe or purchase collection. That is a very expensive operation actually. And we also supported by qualified professional librarians and good people, graduate or undergraduate staff. That is very important because we try to make library is more high profile. It means that we try to get involved in many kinds of activities in developed university because we want to try to increase this position in the global stage. Next. You see that's what is actually library we want to do. It's first it becomes a center for knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing is very important. That's why when you go to the library, this is our library behind you. That is not actually under renovation because we think that we try to make people more happier when we come to library with the convenience, condition, atmosphere, everything. It means that we try to also make some changes regarding about the way we try to serve you. It means that we try to build the so-called learning common. It means that learning commons means that room for discussion, everything. So when you go to the library upstairs, for example, in the level 2 and level 3, there's so many students, and also graduate students try to spend the time to share their knowledge with their peer or their friends. This is the way we try to make the libraries become the center of knowledge sharing. And the second one is also about, that is a very interesting about the library role in the modern school, is the called lender of last resort. Lender of last resort means that when you try to mix your products, intellectual products, and you try to store in our library, it means that there's something wrong with your original work, For example, because your SSD is distracted or lost internet, you can also access your products in the library. So we try to build the so-called repository, digital repository, that makes that every single product of your work could be saved and restored in a professional manner. And we also try to make the so-called data management. That is a very important thing we try to do in the future, because library can support, as Bulu asking what actually the role of library in the future. It means that library not only try to get involved to test the plagiarism issue or try to make some kinds of literacy certain strategy, but also get involved in any single process of activities of research in this university. It's been that I call the librarian's intervention. It's been that library become the strategic partner for the lecturer trying to do their own research. That is a very important thing that we try to do in the future. So why we try to transfer from academic library to research library? It's been that so there's some kind of changes in strategy we deliver our services. And also we try to see that our social contribution, this means that community skill development in our university. We had kinds of gives some kinds of training for our teacher from the school library to make sure that we know how to run or operate library in a professional and good manner. Okay, and also that we try to introduce knowledge preservation in our university. We have a kind of the old manuscript, and we try to convert the old manuscript in the unhindered product. Last month we have a kind of the so-called knowledge-based industry with a great theme regarding about how to make that manuscript become the real products of our we or other people. Next. I would like to differ a little because luckily my postgraduate program when I studied at United Kingdom, I studied about the copyright protection. This is very important. It's long ago, but now 1922, I started thinking about the importance of protecting copyright, and I also try to see about the implementation of copyrights in developing country. But I'd like to quote some of the leading figure of the Picasso said that I begin with an idea and then it becomes something new, something very important. And this is interesting about plagiarism. I say, Bible say that the difference between plagiarism and genius is you cannot tell where the genius is stealing from. Pablo Picasso. So sometimes genius, even the genius, could steal the idea from other sources, but we don't know how they can get. Because at that time, and when Pablo Picasso lived, there is no trinity and identity. That is a big problem. But it's not already relevant anymore because in the past. Because you see that this leading figure, even sometimes people said that Isaac Newton, and even Shakespeare, the leading speeches in English literature, some people also imitate the works of other people. Let's say the Romeo and Juliet. This is the famous Shakespeare drama that is very important. But some people say that actually they have idea from the Arabic literature that is called Laila Majnun. Laila means the name of person. Majnun means crazy. There is some people. But even also in Indonesia, we also have some similarities with the work of the Sari Anwar antara Kerawang dan Bekasi. It's also some similarities with the poet written by the leading figure of Indonesian literature. The name is The Dead Soldier. There's some similarities in the writing, but it's because in the past we don't have some kinds of tool that can identify the similarities between two works. And also about self-plagiarism that Abu Tami asked you about that. Public is to say, success is dangerous. Success is dangerous when one begins to copy oneself. That is a self-plagiarism. It's a very dangerous when you do that. And to copy oneself is more dangerous than to copy others. So self-plagiarism is a very serious thing. It leads to sterility. So there's no kinds of development. That is a very important thing. So we try to avoid the so-called self-plagiarism. Next. Now, this is like about intellectual property. Intellectual property, that is also. Remote property is referred to function minus everything. That is a very important thing that is based on World International Copyright Organization, WIPWO. That is the things that intellectuality is a products of intellectual that should be protected in an international spectrum, not only in the national spectrum, but copyright and or intellectual property should be protected. There is three kinds leading from intellectual property. One is patent. Patent means that we try to make something new, innovation, that sometimes beyond our imagination, that we call is patent. And to make a patent, it takes time because you try to make some kind of comparison with other products in the world and to make sure that you try to apply to for patent registration, and after that for 1 or 2 years you can get the patent itself. And this is a very big business actually to try to get patent. And the second one is a trademark. So trademark is a very important thing when you have coming to this library, for example, the way you use the trademark, for example, Nike, Adidas, or Reseach, well-known trademarks or branding in the world, it means that actually you already, the product already protected by international law as well. And the third one is about copyright. Copyright is something that very close to us for activities because there are two kinds of copyright actually. The next page. This is the copyright. Copyright has two rights that is very important. The first one is regarding about the moral right. Moral rights related to the way that you are recognized as the author of a certain kind of work. This is called moral right. Then when you write an article, a paper, and everything, it is automatically you get the copyright because copyright is automatically against by the author as long as it be original one. And the second one is the kinds of moral right is a derivative right. It means that you can try to maintain the integrity of your work. Let's say I think an example in Bahasa Indonesia, for example, you see that dalam Bapak Ibu mungkin senang menonton film India, gitu kan, ininya. Kemudian senang juga, like to see, some people say that to see the Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet, ininya. Jadi Bapak Ibu kalau melihat cerita Romeo dan Juliet itu berakhirnya gimana? What's the ends of the Romeo and Juliet story? Happy ending or sad ending? Sad ending kan, ininya. Nah, karena Anda kemudian kalau nonton film India, akhirnya apa? Happy ending kan, ininya. Karena itu kalau saya nonton film India, saya tenang aja gitu. Apapun katanya jagoannya itu, the leading actor itu akan mau dipukulin dan sebagainya, pasti selamat karena akhirnya adalah semuanya menjadi bahagia. Tetapi kalau film karya-karya Shakespeare misalnya, semuanya berakhir dengan tragedy gitu kan, sad ending, Hamlet, kemudian ada Macbeth dan sebagainya. Nah, walaupun Shakespeare sudah meninggal beberapa tahun lalu, kita tidak boleh merubahnya karena Romeo dan Juliet berakhir menjadi happy ending. Artinya seperti kita dongeng, sehingga Romeo dan Juliet akhirnya menikah dan menjadi keluarga yang bahagia. Itu tidak dibolehkan karena it's against the concept of moral right. You are not allowed to do that because the integrated work means that this is the sad ending. Nah, itu yang dipertahankan dalam konsep moral right. Dan kemudian kalau Bapak Ibu, you have an author, your article, your books, it means that you are recognized as the author. And this is permanently. Jadi itu berlaku kalau mereka diakui sebagai pengarang sepanjang jalannya dunia ini. That is a permanently. The second one is the most important also, that is the economic right. Economic right is the right to reproduce your right legally. Jadi artinya ketika kita memperbanyak karya-karya orang lain, to produce other people work, is against the protection of copyright. That is very important. Jadi artinya kenapa di perpustakaan UI kami sejauh mungkin untuk respect that the products of international publisher that but if they say that we are not allowed to copy or to download their material, we don't do that. Jadi yang ada di UI is all the original products of publisher. This is why that we spend a lot of money because we buy the original document, original book. Jadi ekonomi pada intinya adalah hak untuk memperbanyak karya ciptaan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Jadi hanya Bapak Ibu yang setelah sudah mendapatkan copyright biasanya diberi C circle. This is the International Copyright Convention that will protect your work as well. Okay, next lihat berikutnya. Nah di Indonesia masalah kita ini is very serious gitu, karena kita adalah Indonesia peringkat 12 dalam hal soal pembajakan software. Jadi saya nggak tahu kalau misalnya Bapak Ibu membawa laptop gitu, ininya, itu menurut penelitian 80% of Microsoft Office di Indonesia itu adalah pirated. UI sejak tahun lalu sudah memberi license, jadi legal license for having the Microsoft Office. That is a very important thing that the kinds of commitments of our top management of this university try to do to protect the copyright work. Jadi kita lihat yang ini profesional sebagainya. Kemudian ada konsep jangan bajak buku kami karena ini menjadi masalah di Indonesia. Di Indonesia buku yang menurut konsepnya adalah buku yang bestseller itu biasanya laku sekitar 30. So we call bestseller books itu is about 3,000 copies sold. Jadi cukup 3.000 itu menjadi bestseller. Coba bandingkan dengan karyanya Browns dalam Da Vinci Code. Itu laku yang aslinya sampai 45 juta eksemplar, dan tentu banyak lagi dibandingkan dengan Harry Potter. Karena itulah kenapa Rowling, penulis dari Harry Potter, itu lebih kaya dari riches than the Queens of United Kingdom, England. Nah ini masalah-masalah yang dihadapi, dan juga ada kasus yang menarik misalnya di UI, seorang pengajar itu bukunya sudah terbitkan, kemudian dia mengajar dan mahasiswanya semua memakai buku kopiannya. Dan kemudian dia jadi marah sebagainya. Itu kenapa di UI kami juga ada special discount for book published by Over. We get 30% discount for a member of UI community. Jadi kita melihat masalah-masalah yang muncul ini lakukannya. Nah ini saya melihat jadi kasus yang mengenai buku, komponen software, dan mudah-mudahan Bapak Ibu juga akan selesai ini appreciate the products of software. Kita only use the original one. Dan kita juga di perpustakaan punya komitmen untuk membeli buku-buku yang asli. Karena memang kita juga temptation is very high. Saya memberikan contoh, for example, the books at the price of the for engineering itu harganya sekitar 4 juta rupiah. In Indonesia rupiah itu kan ininya 4 juta. Kalau kita copy itu paling-paling biasanya kalau di sini kan dibawa ke Kanu atau ke Aladin dan sebagainya, dan bukunya perfect, the same like the original one, itu kita cost cuma 200.000 rupiah. Jadi di original 4 million, itu kalau kopinya cuma 200.000. Nah itu perpustakaan mencoba melakukan untuk tidak melakukan seperti itu, karena juga against the principles of publisher, international publisher or international copyright convention. We had to try to protect the copyright in our library. Jadi kemudian saya lihatkan kasus, nah ini ada kasus-kasus yang menarik kayak gitu. Tadi kita tentang masalah tentang plagiarism dan sebagainya. Ini ada 2 produk kemudian dicoba dimodifikasi, dan ini dianggap juga pada prinsipnya ada some similarities. Seperti kalau Bapak Ibu nanti nulis artikel, kalau misalnya ada fundamental, the idea is quite same, ada style dan sebagainya, itu masih dianggap sebagai sesuatu untuk pelanggaran juga copyright, karena copyright itu sangat dekat dengan konsep dengan plagiarism. It's a part of copyright actually, plagiarism itu. Ini Bapak Ibu pasti mengenal penyanyi The Queen itu Freddie Mercury dengan lagunya Under Pressure. It's a very renowned dan lagunya juga dimodifikasi dan sebagainya. Itu Under Pressure kalau dilakukannya, dan kemudian ribut akhirnya dimenangkan oleh Freddie Mercury, tetapi penyelesaiannya bisa di court. This is very possible as long as there is kinds of agreements between the two parties regarding about how we deal with the problem. Jadi ini juga lagu yang pernah dibajak oleh penyanyi. Di Indonesia juga banyak, bahkan lagunya Kopi Dangdut katanya juga meniru lagu dari Latin Amerika misalnya. Nah itu jadi kira-kira yang saya bisa ini kan kita open untuk discussion because copyright is a very complicated matter. Ini kan pada intinya adalah bahwa we try to protect the works of other people, so give a kind of appreciation as the way we try to appreciate the works of or the products of international publisher. This is the way that our library operates, and we hope that by doing that and also right now we have tried to lure people to submit their intellectual product in our repository, and so if possible try to protect as well and to preserve at the same time. But I try to give you kinds of advice regarding about the way that you try to submit your product in our library. First of all, we are with a kind of suggestion to close first of your products from access because it's a very important thing. But we try to store your product in safely. But you are not allowed to mix your product or intellectual property, intellectual work to be accessed before you got so that it will be published by other conference, it will be conference or international journal to make sure there's no problem in the future. This is the way you try to do it to protect your intellectual work. So that's the way my presentation is open for discussion regarding about how to try to deal with copyright issue. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Pak Fuad. Ya. Baik, tadi yang ditekankan oleh Pak Fuad, actually the role of library and the intellectual property, and sekarang terbuka untuk diskusi. Ada yang mau bertanya? Baik. Di belakang ada satu ya, ada lagi? Ya, dua, ya baik, tiga. Mari kita mulai dengan yang paling belakang. Ya, nama dan juga.
Yes. Good morning, I'm Aula from Pukul of Psychology Universitas Indonesia. I have two questions, sir. First is, in our university there is policy that every student's paper, including skripsi, thesis, and doctorate paper, must be submitted to our university library, right? So, who actually has the right to publish this paper? Is it our library or University of Indonesia or the student itself? That's my first question. And my second question is, what should we do if we find that our paper has been plagiarized, hijacked by someone outside of our university? Because it's a true case by my friend. She submitted her previous work to library, and our library is actually open access, right? But her paper was reproduced by another student from another university. What should she do? Thank you.
Okay, we try to see that in the concept of copyright. When you try to submit your product, your intellectual to a library, it means of the transfer of ownership. So it means that actually that the copyrights belong to the author or the co-author. That is a very absolute thing that we try to appreciate. But in some library, we have to try to the so-called non-exclusive right. It means that library basically are allowed to publish the book because there comes a permission from the author, but the author itself also are allowed to publish the book in other media or other publisher. But the problem is, they raise the issue of self-plagiarism because some because we also publish in other, let's say, in other platform, and you have a platform. So we try to the best way to try to do that, and we can give a kind of advice for the UI students, also lecturers, try to just to protect the product, and to try to limit the access or just to push the access of that. This is the way we try to do that, to make sure that there is no kinds of people would like to hijack to buy your book or make some kind of possibilities, because you know that the problem with Universitas Indonesia, some things that the product or intellectual product of UI is a very, very good thing, good product. So people would like to read it or to copy about that or become a kind of or reference for their writing or their journal. It also happens recently. My friend also complains about that because he is from the faculty of Universitas, the Department of History, that about 90% of his work also imitated by other people. There is, let's say that there is 5 chapters in the new work, 4th chapter, absolutely similar with our works before. That is the problem we try to protect about it, and of course that University of Indonesia, as it also happened, there is a kind of complaints from the user regarding about that, and they ask us to try to push the access to make sure that there is no kind of access that in full text in it. So starting next year, we try to make sure that you are not give kinds of suggestion that not all books or not works will be in the very complete version in the library, unless you yourself think that is very important, because it also seems happen when one of the great student to ask us to open his thesis. Why? Because his boss, or the head of the institution would like to see his product, his thesis on internet. It's real thing. So it's based on the request of the author. They don't like to open access. It means that many people would like to see. And also the thing that when you open access, it means that you try to claim that you're the first one that will write the works. That is a very benefit when you try to make open access. And the next of the problem when we try to push your product, it means that people don't know about your product. And one thing also important thing regarding the copyright, because you are actually financed by the government, by the state, it means that the concept actually you are open for your intellectual product, because you are belong to state. This means that your parts of your operation, but your research and also maybe when you study is also financed by the people, by the state. This means that we try to encourage you, we try to open your product to public. But it's up to you. As long as you say no, because the library has no right to make sure opens or close a certain kind of product. This is your right to do that. This is the way we try. And also in Indonesia, maybe you have heard the so-called One Cert. One Cert is also initiated by the National Library. It means that some kinds of product, internet product from many universities also available. It could be in data, with metadata or in full text. Some people is a big problem because when the UI join that, it's very difficult. Why? Because when you try to make sure that you try to submit our product to the One Cert, it means that when people say to become invitation, we try to close the access. It's a very, very difficult business about that. And one thing that also happened the case that recently one senior lecturer who would like to be the professor in the university, there is some kinds of complaint regarding about self-plagiarism, because his work already available in OA library access or online. So people think that it was a kind of invitation. This is why we try to close, but the problem is when OA library managed to close the access of the internet product is already mined by Google Scholar. That is very difficult to control. Honestly, you try to ask Google to try to also close that access at the same time. That is the way we try to do that. So when you submit your product, there is a kind of form that say about copyright agreement that say that I don't allow people to see the whole or the part or only the abstract. Is up to you because it belongs to you that of this our work. The business of library is just to store your product. So when you have a time of trouble, let's say what your plastic or computer stolen by someone, is also available in our library. So it's why we call library is the lender of the last resort. That's the way to do that.
Okay, next question. We still have time, right? Or
kalau misalnya saya tahu dosi Buya dari Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing Lia, kalau ada orang dari luar UI, dia ingin menyimpan karya ilmiahnya, karya intelektualnya di repositori UI, apakah dia akan mendapatkan registrasi seperti dalam bentuk doi? Apakah UI akan membuatkan doinya, kemudian itu bisa dia pakai untuk referensi dalam penulisan karya ilmiahnya. Dan kemudian mengenai copyright, pada saat ini kan orang juga sudah membahas tentang CC, Common Creative. Bagaimana sikap UI terhadap CC? Itu saja.
Pada prinsipnya kami sekarang ini Pak, kita namanya Uyana Pak, namanya Uyana ya, itu Ibu Maryam dari Ana itu kan dalam bahasa Arab artinya saya. Jadi UI saya, UI Indonesia. Jadi produk-produk yang diterbitkan oleh UI yang sekarang kami terakhir untuk dikumpulkan, dikolek Pak ininya. Jadi memang kami belum menerima kalau misalnya seperti itu, Bapak bisa bergabung dengan institusinya dengan OneSearch itu. Kalau saya ada OneSearch, dulu ada Garuda, kemudian OneSearch, nanti karya Bapak itu bisa di-upload di OneSearch yang dikelola. Gitu ya. Untuk sementara kalau kami di UI karena memang ada kebijakan, karena di masa lalu itu paper-paper, artikel, tesis, disertasi yang itu diperjualbelikan. Jadi ada semacam kayak robot itu yang mencoba mengambil semua, mendownload semua karyanya dan itu diperjualkan. Di waktu itu dekat sini di daerah Konda dan sebagainya, itu ditaruh CD. Itu yang membuat pimpinan kami itu agak ini. Masalahnya itu sebenarnya baik kalau untuk jadi reference, tapi itu menjadi bisnis. Bapak Ibu tahu lah, di kita itu kan ada bisnis untuk penulisan tesis disertasi. Itu kalau Bapak Ibu lihat di Gang Martado namanya di Salemba, itu orang yang luar biasa, bisa menulis apapun dari disertasi. Bahkan saya menulis disertasi 6 tahun sudah selesai. Satu biji, dia bisa 1 bulan untuk disertasi, dan it's a very great thing gitu ya. Nah itu yang menjadikan. Yang kedua Pak, yang dari kamu kreatif itu seperti gini. Pada prinsipnya adalah itu tidak ada makan siang yang gratis Pak. Kayak gitu, nggak ada freelance ininya. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu juga dapat freelance juga hari ini, waktu itu sebenarnya nggak gratis juga, karena ada yang mendukung dan sebagainya. Ujungnya juga memperkenalkan item tiket dan rintit kan. That is the way we try to promote kan ininya. Jadi artinya adalah bahwa pada prinsipnya pertama ada kesalahan persepsi di masyarakat bahwa copyright itu hanya berbicara kepada economic right. Padahal copyright itu berbicara pada hal yang penting, yaitu moral right, hak moral. Bahkan kalau kita jujur juga, Tuhan pun kitab-kitabnya kan diklaim sebagai karyanya kan. Misalnya Al-Quran, Injil dan sebagainya, itu kan juga ada klaim kan, penamaan sebagai diakui sebagai penulisnya kayak gitu. Jadi copyright itu setengahnya minimal itu dipakai dimanapun. Karena ada kegiatan yang mengatakan bahwa tidak boleh copyright, itu juga misleading. Karena kalau tidak ada copyright, berarti tulisan Bapak, tulisan Ibu, itu bisa saya ganti dengan nama saya. Dan itu sah, karena tidak ada perlindungan. Tapi karena ada copyright, itu berarti karya-karya apapun itu harus juga dihargai sampai juga meninggal gitu kan. Seperti kalau kita lihat karya, saya sudah berikan contoh Shakespeare karena saya sangat familiar dengan karya tersebut adalah bahwa karya Shakespeare pengarangnya kan sudah meninggal. Kalau perlindungan copyright biasanya kalau hak ekonominya itu 50 tahun, sekarang di Indonesia 75 tahun setelah pengarangnya meninggal, karya itu menjadi public domain. Artinya Bapak Ibu boleh memperbanyak karya itu, tetapi yang tidak boleh dirubah bahwa karya Romeo dan Juliet tetap adalah karya Shakespeare ininya, dan bahwa itu juga ada sesuatu yang integrated, karya tersebut integrated school, itu Anda tidak boleh merubah apapun dalam karya tersebut ininya. Jadi artinya adalah bahwa copyright itu sebetulnya membantu menghargai para penulis yang sudah tadi Bapak Ibu perhatikan kan, untuk menulis artikel aja berapa lama, text time kan ininya. Dan nanti pas sudah selesai orang tinggal enak mengcopy, memperbanyak karya itu kan tidak ada appreciation. Dan kalau misalnya tidak ada appreciation kepada author, itu menjadikan nanti siapa yang menulis karya-karya tersebut ininya. Kita ingat bahwa kenapa pengarang-pengarang seperti Rowling, kemudian pengarang-pengarang Bronze dan juga pengarang-pengarang di dunia itu bisa bertahan karena karyanya mereka itu well protected. Jadi kalau misalnya nanti langsung di kampung kreatif ya habis lah. Memang harus diakui itu bidang yang terpukul terhadap copyright itu karena teknologi adalah musik. Musik itu habis dihajar oleh karena teknologi. Jadi Bapak Ibu misalnya mengatakan nanti pagi saya akan rilis album saya, siangnya itu sudah menjadi banyak semuanya dilakukan, sehingga it's very difficult to protect music kan ininya. Itulah sebabnya sekarang para penyanyi kan tidak bisa tergantung kepada kaset yang dia jual, walaupun di luar negeri masih ada penyanyi yang baru ini 2 juta karyanya sudah bisa dijual. Tapi di Indonesia misalnya begitu lagunya muncul paginya, siangnya sudah menjadi produk publik yang kita lakukan. Jadi kita juga lihatnya adalah ketika bukan sebetulnya membunuh copyright, tetapi jadi melindungi dan biasanya juga selected dirinya. Kalau misalnya itu semuanya jadi kawan kreatif, UI tidak perlu menghabiskan billions of rupiah, dan every year we increase 10% karena the price of the international publisher produk itu naiknya kita perhatikan sekitar 10%. Jadi memang kita harus menghargai copyright. Dan karena jujur saja, orang bertanya, Bapak Ibu mungkin tahu, kenapa Bill Gates menjadi orang terkaya di dunia? Bahkan 80% of his product, at least di Indonesia, pirated. Karena jawabannya adalah satu kata. Halo Bapak Ibu, tahu nggak? Satu kata, kenapa Bill Gates menjadi orang terkaya? One word, apa? Versi. Karena sering dimunculkan kan versi berikutnya. Jadi dengan itulah caranya Bill Gates menjadi kaya. Jadi besok ada fasilitas X-nya, nanti berikutnya 5% YY dan sebagainya. Dan itu kan dalam bisnis kan biasa supaya dijual itu. Jadi kenapa? Nah itu kenapa? Dan Microsoft itu bukan paten, itu adalah copyright. Jadi orang suka mengacaukan antara konsep paten dengan copyright. Kalau batik itu paten, bukan. Batik Bapak Ibu itu bukan paten, itu copyright. Tapi kalau paten, Bapak menemukan sesuatu yang totally new, yang sebelum kita dibayangkan, sudah bisa ditemukan. That is a invention dirinya. Dan itu juga kalau copyright paten untuk diakui itu harus dibandingkan dengan semua produk yang pernah ada di dunia. Setelah itu Bapak adalah Eureka, artinya ini saya temukan, baru diakui patennya di seluruh dunia. Jadi kita punya di Indonesia misalnya sosol bahu. Indonesia pernah membuat yang jembatan layang itu kita pakai sosol bahu. Kemudian yang kita terkenal adalah fondasi cakar ayam yang dipakai di seluruh dunia. Itu pertemuan yang paling leading di Indonesia. Tapi setelah itu juga tidak banyak paten yang dihasilkan. Karena indikator negara maju biasanya adalah di produk patennya, bukan karena pendapatan per kapita income dunia. Tetapi kalau copyright, Bapak Ibu, kalau Bapak pertama gini, copyright itu tidak melindungi ide. Kita protect ide. Jadi kalau Bapak punya ide, habis pulang dari sini, saya mau bikin gini, saya dengar, saya tulis dan sebagainya, Anda tidak bisa mengklaim itulah ide saya. Tidak. Tapi yang ide itu harus dalam bentuk tulisan atau direkam. Itu baru dilindungi. Jadi kalau ide-ide aja banyak ngomong, diskusi dan sebagainya, orang dengar mencetek, dia protected. Ininya. Jadi hati-hati juga dengan ide-ide yang didengar orang, nanti orang lebih cepat. Karena saya pernah misalnya dalam rencana membuat buku bagaimana untuk survival language. Artinya ketika orang pergi umroh, orang haji itu ada kalimat-kalimat pertanyaan di mana ini dan sebagainya dalam bahasa Arab. Ya karena baru wacana aja, kemudian orang 40 bulan sudah jadi produknya. Gitu. Kan tidak bisa mengklaim itu sebagai ide saya, idenya. Jadi artinya adalah bahwa kita harus sebagai masyarakat intelektual, masyarakat akademik, we have to appreciate copyright protection. Gitu. That is the way we try to do that. Gitu.
Thank you. Makasih Pak. Ya, saya hanya correct me if I'm wrong also ya. Sebetulnya open access, the spirit of open access actually is also to avoid plagiarism by dengan menyebarluaskan ya, dengan memberikan akses yang terbuka seharusnya tapi seharusnya tidak akan terjadi plagiarisme. Oh ini sudah diadakan penelitian ini oleh, jadi it doesn't have to be repeated ya, harusnya. Namun demikian ini ada juga berita yang menarik bahwa saat ini mungkin Bapak Ibu dan terutama yang di kalangan pustakawan familiar dengan Undang-Undang Serah Simpan Karya Cetak dan Karya Rekam yang dibuat pada tahun 1990 sampai sekarang. Jadi sudah 27 tahun baru akan direvisi. Mengingat bahwa dengan perkembangan teknologi informasi dan komunikasi yang begitu luas. Nah ini juga banyak hal-hal yang nanti terkait dengan apa yang dibicarakan oleh dua Bapak ini. Yang nantinya mudah-mudahan ada sesi lain yang bisa difasilitasi oleh Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia. Oke, I think we still have one more question. Is it okay? Because tadi sudah ada yang menunjuk ya, satu saja dulu. Ya, baik. Karena kita masih ada sesi nanti praktek cleaning. Ya. Ya.
Ibu saya satu lagi Bu, setelah ini.
Setelah itu.
Ya.
Tunjuk ya tadi ya Pak ya.
Ya.
Iya, terima kasih. Ada dua pertanyaan satu kepada Pak Fuad, and one other question to Mr. Liam. First, talking about globalization that has influenced many things, and also to the work of writers, copyright, plagiarism, etc. And because of this technology, as you said, that Indonesia is the 12th record in plagiarism, in copying everything. This is because, for example, for copyright, many institutions like my institution in Kuningan, I'm from Kuningan, maybe it is still far away from here, and my institution, small university in Kuningan, and the library is very limited when we propose the budget for adding books, for example. And just like a few months ago, I tried to buy Turnitin, and I proposed to the rector. It costs about $4,000 a year, and the budget is still limited. We cannot buy that yet, and also because of that, although copyright is still forbidden, I think there are still many institutions still copying the books from the original or from PDF, something like that. And because of the photocopier is very, very good, as you said, that we can copy just like the original. That's one. This is problem. It is unavoidable. And the second, when we use article in the journal, in open access journal, and with the journal which is published, we have to buy. So we mostly take from the open access journal, so we can download it cheaply, not cheaply, freely. When we ask the student to copy, not to quote, so most of the students use from the open access. And luckily, the government has bought what we call some license to copy from some other EBSCO, something like that, website. Now, the problem is, how can we get some permission from just like the copyright publisher that cost not too expensive. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, okay. And then in publishing my article, for example, the problem when I'm writing a model of teaching using ICT. ICT is still general, so it is very difficult for me to when I choose one software, one software that can be accessed freely in the internet for developing my teaching material person. But then there is the new one. So what is the suggestion from Mr. William, so that we can choose one that is not out of that again, because technology is very, very fast. So when I choose one program and it becomes out of that, and I have to choose the new one. That's my question. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, Pak. Jadi ada 2 pertanyaan. Mungkin kita singkat-singkat saja. Mungkin ada informasi tambahan nanti bisa. I think maybe Pak William also can answer by email ya, but for the time being.
I would like to underline the concept of copyright, that the two rights, the economic rights and non right. In terms of the economic right, there is a so-called transfer of ownership. Jadi artinya di dalam konsep hak ekonomi, Bapak Ibu itu boleh menyatakan bahwa hak ekonomi ini yang I'm yakin belong to the older owner itu saya serahkan kepada someone else, kayak gitu. Artinya saya mengatakan bahwa silakan diperbanyak tanpa perlu bayar, itu diperbolehkan. Itu adalah hak ekonomi. Kayak gitu. Jadi kalau Bapak mencari tadi karya-karya yang di open source dan sebagainya, si pengarang itu mengatakan the economic right not belong me anymore. You are free to do that as long as you try. Now, there's something important that cannot be transferred is the recognition of the author's name. Jadi, walaupun itu karya-karya yang bebas, Bapak Ibu ketika mendownload karya dari open source dan sebagainya, itu jangan lupa tetap menulis nama pengarangnya. Karena yang namanya moral right itu tidak bisa ditransfer dan sifatnya permanen. Gitu ya. Jadi artinya itu dimungkinkan. Asal Bapak Ibu ikhlas, gitu kan? Ikhlas untuk mengatakan bahwa karya ini silakan diperbanyak, tapi jangan. Nah, itu ada juga karena ada juga penulis yang senang kalau misalnya karyanya kan di quote kan banyak-banyaknya. Karena terlalu lama ada close itu the problem. Jadi people tidak tahu. Nah, masalah yang muncul adalah terutama Bapak Kuningan itu universitas negeri apa swasta? Swasta. Kalau swasta itu harus hati-hati karena mahasiswanya merasa itu bayarnya kena diri sendiri. Negara tidak interfere, tidak ada kehadiran negara dalam proses education-nya. Sehingga dia merasa itu kan punya saya. Kalau di UI memang kita anjurkan dosen dan sebagainya ini kan punya negara. Jadi kita mengatakan bahwa itu sebaiknya dibuka. Tapi masalahnya adalah di Indonesia itu melihat karya tersebut bukan dilihat sebagai the idea, the inspiration for the state of the art of research. When you try to see about the nuance of article regarding about that, ininya. Jadi masalahnya adalah itu menjadi contekan gitu. Masalahnya sekarang teknologi itu luar biasa kan. Karya saya sudah di PDF itu sudah jadi Word kan. Kemudian karena itu dikasih instruksi, coba semua ganti kata bisa dengan kata dapat, semua dapat dan itu kan berubah. Tapi ganti yang sebagainya itu menjadi new one. Ini that's a problem. Jadi memang kesadaran tadi yang namanya dalam riset kan ada research integrity. Salah satu riset ini ada etika. Etika itu menghargai karya yang bukan karya kita itu. You have to appreciate the work of other people because it's a take time and then the intellectual capability to produce to hit something new ininya. Sehingga jangan lupa itu namanya. Tetapi sebenarnya terjadi tadi juga Ibu mengatakan di belakang banyak yang dicontek dan sebagainya. Itu banyak karya-karya saya bukan hanya UI. Itu karya-karya itu banyak di Indonesia itu menjadi bisnis. Itu kenapa ada jasa di Indonesia penulisan skripsi tesis itunya. Secara itu nggak make sense ditulis itunya. Itu yang dimodifikasi dan sebagainya. Nah tadi Bu Tami mengatakan bahwa Pusaka Nasional punya peran. Sebelum Pusaka Nasional punya yang namanya karya simpan ya Bu ya. Yang kedua adalah Pusaka Nasional control perannya binary control. Jadi semua karya di Indonesia harusnya bisa di capture, disimpan. Sehingga ketika Bapak Ibu kan kalau konsep Trinity and Identity kan sebenarnya membandingkan kan tulisan. Jadi kalau semua available sudah dalam bentuk. Nah masalahnya Identity and Trinity base-nya adalah elektronik kan. Jadi karya-karya yang sebelum belum di-upload atau ditransfer ke jelas itu tidak bisa dilakukan. Jadi sebetulnya tadi kan dikatakan oleh Pak Blim Picasso kan, perbedaan antara orang plagiarism and genius itu orang jenis itu mendapatkan bahan-bahannya tidak diketahui dari mana. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu pinter-pinter ya cari-cari aja tulisan-tulisan yang belum digitalize. Nah itu bukan saya ngajarin, tetapi memberikan inspirasi kan. Masalah mengajarkan kan dosa Anda, bukan dosa saya kan. Saya akan memberikan masukan. Jadi artinya adalah bahwa itu kita coba melakukan ini ya, apa namanya lakukan. Jadi sebetulnya kita memang mengharapkan itu dinaikkan semua Pak untuk perbandingan. Karena sebetulnya ada saya lihat ada beberapa modus operandi. Ada yang menjadikan bahwa penelitian itu sebelum dari 5 tahun yang lalu. Kemudian namanya kan recycle research. Jadi riset yang di recycle karena dulu tidak terekam dengan baik atau institusi, kemudian orang itu mengajukan baru lagi dibilang itu baru tidak naik. Itu ada. Nah ini masalah-masalah ini menjadi masalah pusaka juga. Tadi kan ditanyakan oleh Bu Lulu, apa is the function or roles of library in the future, in the terms of research activities. Itu kita membantu untuk mengontrol, membantu researcher, ini sebetulnya udah sama dan sebagainya. Supaya nanti jangan karena dia invest uangnya banyak-banyak, kemudian dia mengatakan, Eureka, saya sudah menemukan penelitian baru. Nggak taunya di Eropa sudah 50 tahun lalu sudah ditemukan. Nah itu kan jadi lakukan. Jadi ini yang kita harus lakukan. Bisa lihat.
Yes, it takes time, to get the paper process, review, and then get published. Yes, it takes time. I guess your question was about like ICT tool or technology. You mean e-learning tool, e-learning platform? Yeah, I think there's a open source learning platform nowadays available online. Yeah, and I think a number of universities, including Monash in Australia, I think they're using the software called I can't remember the name. Yes, Open University. Yeah, there's this kind of open source software available, so you can just Google and make use of it. Because a number of universities in Australia are using this, so I guess it's a stable software. Yeah.
Alright, tadi sudah terlanjur janji yang paling lain. Tapi singkat padat menusuk. Aja. Baik.
Terima kasih, saya Ida Sunana dari UIN Bandung. Pertanyaan saya untuk Pak Buan, saya ingin nanya kalau ada nggak standar internasional tentang persentase plagiasi, sehingga kita tuh kan kadang juga menentukan sekian persen, ada yang 10%, 20%, 30%. Ada nggak itu presentasi yang itu distandarisasi oleh lembaga internasional yang menyebut bahwa karya ini adalah plagiasi karena memplagiasi sekian persen? Ada itu aja Pak Buat, tolong dijawab. Terima kasih.
Ya, gini Pak, sebetulnya kan plagiarisme itu juga kadang-kadang bisa debatable karena tidak kan gini, ada konsep mengatakan tidak ada yang baru di dunia ini ya, itu ya kayak apa semuanya sudah pernah ada dan ada persamaan-persamaannya. Saya pernah melihat suatu disertasi itu saya tidak menyebutkan tetapi saya melihat di setiap kalimatnya, every single sentence in the dissertation itu ada catatan kaki. Catatan kaki semua tuh Pak, gitu bukan. Jadi kalau misalnya diuji dengan plagiarisme tanpa menarik itunya, catatan kakinya itu 100% itu sudah suatu karya yang sudah pernah ada. Pertanyaannya, apa itu plagiarisme kan kayak gitu? Atau itu menjadikan sesuatu yang nyontek? Saya melihat pertama, membangun suatu konsep-konsep menjadi suatu karya-karya yang banyak itu menjadi sesuatu reconstruct gitu ya, intelektual itu juga adalah intellectual effort dilakukannya, dan itu tidak mudah. Menggabungkan ratusan ribuan buku itu menjadi kalimat-kalimat yang teratur dan sebagainya itu menjadikan suatu disertasi. Jadi pertama adalah bahwa yang namanya plagiarisme adalah kalau dia menyebutkan sumbernya, menurut saya ya, kayak gitu is fine. Cuma tadi gimana tentang masalah original thinkingnya itu menjadi demanding. Kalau misalnya artikel-artikel internasional kan always something new. When you try to publish your article, you have something new kan. Terus they will recheck about that gitunya. Nah ini yang menjadi masalah. Jadi pertanyaan presentasenya di kita itu memang sudah menemukan berapa persennya kayak gitu. Itu di art. Ada suatu fakultas yang tidak menyebutkan karena mengenai privasinya itu mengatakan bahwa mahasiswa kalau 35% itu sama itu harus ngulang, dirapikan lagi dan sebagainya. Nah kami melihat ada pola-pola plagiarisme terjadi adalah kadang-kadang kita tidak boleh menuduh bahwa itu langsung plagiarisme. Kenapa itu? Itu kesian juga dilakukan. Pertama kita temukan masalahnya adalah dia lupa membuat catatan kakinya. Menyebutnya karena asik dan sebagainya kayak gitu-gitu, kemudian dicari lagi dari mana sumbernya, setengah mati itu nyarinya, gitu. Jadi artinya ini harus dicek lakukannya. Kemudian kami kan di UI sekarang sudah membantu lecturer student when you try to check their article or their product itu, kami tidak akan mengatakan bahwa ini plagiarism atau tidak. Kita hanya memberikan semacam specification ya, bahwa karya ini ada sinergis dan sebagainya, kemudian itu untuk dipertimbangkan, atau karena ini lupa menaruh tadi sumbernya atau lakukannya, karena tidak ada yang baru. Kalau suatu karya yang benar-benar baru, saya rasa nggak ada. Even Shakespeare, kayaknya juga ada riset juga kan. Bapak tahu yang namanya Harry Potter, pengarangnya Rowling itu, ketika menulis tentang Harry Potter atau Bronze dalam Da Vinci Code, dia juga riset dan dia juga meng-quote sumber-sumber yang juga valid itu dilakukannya. Jadi tidak ada sama sekali baru. Maka kalau dalam karya-karya ilmiah, kalau sama sekali baru kan fiksi ya. Jadi perlu juga ada referennya. Tapi yang paling penting adalah menyebutkan sumbernya. Masalah berapa persennya, ada yang tergantung kadang-kadang fakta sepak. Ada yang mengatakan pokoknya kalau 10% yang dikatakan untuk jurnal kan itu mesti tolerable. Artinya adalah bahwa itu tidak menyangkut yang tadi di quote. Jadi benar-benar itu masih bisa dilakukan. Karena ini menjadi memang debatable, meta plagiarism. Yang kami ketahui itu Pak, ada yang 10%, ada yang juga bisa toleran kalau mahasiswa bolehlah dikit-dikit samanya gitu. Jadi mungkin semakin tinggi levelnya, semakin kecil harusnya persamaannya gitu. Kalau anak S1 kan masih belajar, jadi udah bagus dia meng-quote yang ilmiah, udah bagus itu. Kadang-kadang dia lupa minta sumbernya. Tetapi yang pasti adalah jangan yang lama kan kayak gitu. Tapi semakin dia tinggi, dokter dan sebagainya, apalagi profesor, ya original thinkingnya is important. Karena dia akan bermain bukan pada book, tetapi pada artikel jurnal kan. Dan jurnal itu hanya menghargai sesuatu yang innovation atau baru. Kalau enggak dia di-reject gitu. Karena itu Pak, kalau persentasenya saya nggak berani begini-gini atau ribut gitu kan, tapi ada yang kebijakan masing-masing.
Baik, thank you, terima kasih. Ya, wah, ini makin hangat, tapi juga waktunya berjalan terus. Then we still have time, Julie, we still, to practice the authenticate and the turn it in, right? With from the I group, yeah. All right, so we say thank you first for the and we will leave the floor. Yeah? Terima kasih.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So my name is Jack Brazel and I'm from the organisation Turn It In, and I represent Turn It in Southeast Asia. Now Turn It In has a very good reputation at helping academics and students in preventing plagiarism. We have that reputation because of the databases in which a paper would be checked against. And I've got them up here. So database 1 is the internet database. And we have a special tool within the internet database called the internet crawler. And what the crawler does every day is that it goes looking for content. And when we find that content, it actually puts it into a repository for searching purposes, and it will also come back to that page to see if it's changed. So a great example is the Wikipedia page. Wikipedia changes every day, but our system is able to go back, index that copy, and put that into our repository. So as you can see on the web page, that's actually growing every day, and that number will get bigger, bigger, and bigger. The second database is the student paper database. For those of you who have taught in an academic setting, you might have encountered the problem of collusion between students. So imagine if I copy off one of my colleagues and those papers are uploaded into Turn It In, that would highlight a plagiarism situation. Or if I copied off my big brother, big sister who have previously done the class, that would highlight a plagiarism situation. Moving down, we can see the final database is the Crossref database. So here at the University of Indonesia, the Faculty of Medicine is a Crossref member, and they would contribute their data to this database. So Crossref is an association of publishing bodies, all the well-known publishers. They're in that association and they submit data to Turnitin to protect their integrity. But listening to today's conversation, there seems to be a lot of concern. If I publish my work, how am I going to be protected? How am I going to prevent my work from being stolen from perhaps another Indonesian university, another Malaysian university perhaps? So what we can offer customers is the ability to upload their own content into the database, and that ensures their copyright is protected. Right now, across Indonesia, we actually already crawl the University of Indonesia's databases, but if there is content offline and you're worried about that work being plagiarized, we'd be more than happy to help and assist to upload that data to ensure protection. But what we feel, those 3 databases that were previously up there, that gives you complete protection to ensure that your work is original. Turnitin aims not to be a malicious or punitive tool to highlight plagiarism. We want to give you, the authors, the publishers, the students, the good feelings that their work is original, that nothing bad would happen during the publication process. So where we are right now is a assignment homepage. And you can see right down the line, we've got a whole range of scores, okay? And naturally, as the score gets higher, you can see a red, orange, and green. Now, a lot of you might think, oh my God, 89%, does that mean my work is 89% plagiarized? You have to remember, we're a text-based matching tool, okay? So when we put a paper through the system, we will search all our databases and it will highlight those matches. But it is not necessarily indicative that plagiarism has taken place. And we're going to see in just a moment. So I have a University of Indonesia paper produced in Bahasa. And I might touch upon this point. You might think, will Turnitin work for Bahasa Indonesian papers? We're able to match against Bahasa Indonesian, but the question we must ask, will we have content that we'll match against? And right now, we have a large majority of the university's open access databases, and we crawl a large percentage of Indonesian content, and we will see some local Indonesian matches. So here we are here. So we have 20% match, and Rihanna, I'll just get you to drop down to the Bahasa content. And we can see red lines are indicative of where we found matches on the system, but it is not necessarily indicative of plagiarism. So 2 things I want to explain to you. We actually have not excluded, sorry, Riri, I will get you to jump into the 13% match. So what you're able to do is compare the match against each other, and you can see the red line, okay? And you imagine during the revision process, William talked about it, the paraphrasing, okay? Have you done good enough paraphrasing? And this tool's going to help you to see, okay, we've got these matches left over, and maybe you're comfortable with those matches. And if we click on the internet source, that will take us to the actual link. And down there, we can actually see the various matches the paper has come up against. So one of interest is the student paper database. And I also know we've got the repository for UPI. Now, when a match is found against a student paper, that paper actually belongs to the student, okay? And if you wanted to inspect that source paper, you would have to put a request in to the administrator of the system. So whether it be, University of Indonesia or ITB, you would have to go ask, hey, we'd really like to have a look at this paper to inspect why we've got such a high match. Because the privacy of the author is paramount. Now, at the moment, because we're a text-based matching system, we're actually counting bibliographies, quotes, but also small word matches, okay, that might not be indicative of plagiarism. So we have filter settings where it is right now. So right now, we're at a 20% score, and if we exclude the quotes and the bibliography, the paper's going to drop down, okay? Now, if we have a look at the paper now, you're going to see small matches that really aren't that telling that plagiarism is taking place. So you can see, for instance, we have that website highlighted. We had a few small word matches. Now, there is a concern of self-plagiarism in Indonesia, and where Turnitin can be very helpful is that it might actually highlight a match to a previous paper that you have produced. And if that was the case, you could simply exclude it out of the document. Okay, and once we've gone through that exclusion process, we're able to print off a document of originality that could be part of the publishing process. And that just produces a PDF, which should eventually come up. And there we go there. So I'm mindful of the time pressures that we have. I'd like to open up to any questions that you might have. I know that there is concern about what the originality score means. Any questions?
Thank you. I just know that Turnitin can also detect plagiarism in Bahasa Indonesia. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, you compare between the paper and some websites from blog, from Unian and stuff. Do we need to register that blog, or you just automatically detect the blog in the internet?
It's an automatic basis, so the crawler goes looking for new content. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll have the whole internet, but we're continually looking for new stuff. So we'll take the advice of our customers, and we'll crawl a lot of the pages that they request to be crawled. But it's a growing database, so you don't need to sign up for anything at all.
But we as customer can give suggestion to Turnitin.
You can give guidance to us, that's right. So for instance, with a lot of the major universities in Indonesia, we've ensured that all their open access repositories have been crawled and those papers have been put up into the database. And please speak to your account manager if you're a customer for further guidance, but we'd be more than happy to talk to any customers in Indonesia who want that extra protection from Turnitin by uploading all their work that they've already done, so archives, student papers. And the great thing is we do this for free of charge, and there's a lot of benefits. So you're going to have increased citation. If you're aiming to be that research university, it's going to increase that capability and protect your copyright. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, my name is Senin. Okay. This is the problem of everybody, I think, when we are trying to avoid plagiarism. Yeah, the problem in my campus that the students sometimes use a writer. For example, Brown 2001. But then when I check in the reference, he uses 2000. The year of the writer Brown is 2000. Yeah, this is our problem. How to avoid this activity so that most of us didn't do plagiarism. In checking reference, something like that.
So, I just want to check that I understand your question correctly. So you've got students who are putting the wrong references to prevent to prevent Turnitin highlighting it as plagiarism.
Yeah.
Is that right? So I don't think putting an incorrect reference would impact the score. So the thing to remember about Turnitin, it's a text-based matching system. So it's not driven by the bibliography, it's driven by a string of text highlighted against it. A really good example, you might remember the American election with Melania Trump when she plagiarized her speech. So we got a lot of comments, whether or not she plagiarized. And the biggest indicative thing that the content was unoriginal was the length of text, which was similar compared to Michelle Obama's. So we're more about the text-based matching. But however, the good thing about the bibliography checking, if the 2001 was incorrect, most of the bibliography would be highlighted in red, but then the 2001 would actually be white because it wouldn't be in line, so it wouldn't match against it. So it would still show that there's something wrong with the references.
Yeah, the problem like this, when the lecturer asks the student to put more than 50 writers, for example.
50 authors?
Yeah, 50 authors, yeah. Then, besides, he used what he got from other resources, but maybe he got only 20 or 30, then ask somebody else, do you have preference? And then they just, okay, may I borrow yours? And then he just put the reference into his paper.
Sure. I mean, that's quite a detailed answer. How about we meet after the session?
Yeah, can Turnitin check this?
Yeah, and I'll talk you through the best way we can help, because that would just be quite a detailed answer. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you. My name is Devi Vidyana from Universitas Jakarta. Actually, using the Turnitin for student research or student papers already done a year ago, but my program is for today. I am the head of the Research Institute of Universitas Jakarta, and I find that it will be very benefit for us if the lecturers, when they submit their proposals, this is the initial proposal, and they have to submit the proposals into the Turnitin. Since it's still idea, proposal still idea.
Sure.
The proposal is already protected if they are already submitted into the Turnitin, or if there is a new idea comes in a form of another proposal, and then can we claim that this proposal is the first using the Turnitin because we submit it first before the another proposal.
So obviously I don't want to go into the details of copyright laws as I'm not an expert. But the good thing about using Turnitin, if you submit into the database, you would have a point into which you can base your discussions with the other organisation that might have had a similar idea.
Okay, so we can use that submission to the Turnitin as the proof first submit, yeah. I mean, so the idea comes from me first.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I would highlight it. But the thing to remember about the system, we're a text-based matching system, okay? So we aim to prevent text-based plagiarism, okay? So it would be hard to ascertain if the paper was written in a different idea. It would provide a very good data point.
So another question.
Sure.
Which one is better for you? I mean, is it okay if we just put these proposals or just only the articles? I mean, the outputs of the research. Which one is better, the proposals or the articles?
It's entirely up to the university. I mean, from my perspective, it's not a risk management. Okay, so I'll be uploading everything because the more data you collect, the more points that you have to rely on in case of further discussions. So I'd say both. One thing to note about with Turnitin, once a paper is submitted to the database and say the lecturer goes, right, I need to submit another copy, it would say 100% match because it's already in the database. So what I'd encourage is a decision by the university management, what needs to go into Turnitin, and once you've got that process set out, you don't have those nasty 100% matches.
Yes.
But the good thing is, if it does happen, all you need to do is write it to us, and we'll delete the paper, and you can start again.
Yeah, because just put only the proposal to Turnitin means that they judge me, you are a very mean person because you put the proposal to the Turnitin while maybe other institution only put the papers.
Right, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I do know that we are short on time, so perhaps a few more questions, yeah.
Thank you. I've used Turnitin, the last time I've used Turnitin in 2014, so I'm sure there are more. Now, can I go back to your statement that if you put in the same paper, or the working paper and then the final version of the paper, it will be matched against and it will come up with 100%.
Correct.
Now, my question is, when I used to do it, I used to have the revision. Is that still possible?
That's right.
Especially for student papers.
Yeah.
You want to have them to check the first version, first draft, and then the revision, and then the final one. Could we set up, so that is a setting that you need to set up before?
That's correct. So generally when people submit papers twice, it's generally just a misunderstanding of the system capabilities. So you're able to fully control the revision process and what goes into the database, but sometimes mistakes happen. Yeah. Hello, Toto.
I'm Toto from Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa India. I once had a talk with my friend. I talked about Turnitin to my friend. I kind of promoting Turnitin to my friend. And my friend, a fellow lecturer from the university, he was impressed, but he says, why do you have to pay if you can use another one for free? And he showed me search, SEO search tool, which basically is like Turnitin. It is also online service, but free, no charge. You can upload any kind of document, check if there is a match of the content of the paper. Well, after I compare it, it's not as SEO search tool, it's not as sophisticated as Turnitin, but it more or less has the basic features. So, as a representative of Turnitin, what makes Turnitin has better edge than SEO search tool?
I think, Riri, I might get you to go back to that previous page with the numbers. So the big thing, as a student, as a publisher, what you want to achieve when you put your work out there is peace of mind, okay? And like I discussed before, we can give you the best confidence that your work is original because of the databases, the size of the data. And you can see how big that is. And I want to draw your attention to the Crossref database. So the Crossref database, we have exclusive arrangements with that organisation, and if you want to play, I suppose, get in those international articles, get in those really well recognised databases, journals, you want to be exposed to that material to prevent it. Generally, other providers, especially free providers, you need to ask the question, why is it free? And generally what happens is they might use your data and maybe on-sell it to another student who might be writing a similar topic, so a ghostwriter. And also, they're only going to do a search of the internet, of the current internet. So you think, if I was a student and I took a source of Wikipedia and Wikipedia changed overnight, that database will not be able to keep, that product will not be able to keep up. Really what Turnitin is a peace of mind tool, and by putting it in paper through the system, you will know that nothing bad is going to happen. You know that there's going to be no questions of its originality when it gets to publication time. For students, they're going to actually learn the writing process because they can revise, work out what citation is, work out how to find their academic voice. So I hope that's a simple answer. Thank you. Are we out of time?
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
About Turnitin. My question, if the government university maybe is no problem because they subsidize from government to subscription this Turnitin. And the private sector, because the private sector in Indonesia, not like in foreign country, because I will to subscription the Turnitin for 1 year. Who is better we choose the what kind if I will to customer Turnitin, because I will small group in the three. We have the association, private university in Jakarta. Many universities will subscription to Turnitin.
Sure.
But is the problem is the pay for the subscription is still very expensive. Who is better we choose the subscription to like 1 year, and then any special price if we as a customer in association, because it's very interesting about this.
Yeah, so what you're asking is we support the Private University Association. How about we have a chat after the discussion, after the presentation, and I'm sure we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much. I think I'll close the presentation now. I just want to express my appreciation to William for his excellent presentation, and he had to sacrifice quite a lot coming over here for a short period of time, so let's thank William again. Not too sure where he's going. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for Mr. Zain Brazil for the presentation. We would like to invite again our speakers and our moderator for the first session, which is Bapak Fuad Gani, SSMA, and then Dr. William Yeo, and also our moderator, Ibu Utami. to receive the token of appreciation. That's why I would like to invite also Ibu Leli Mahyudi MU as the Coordinator of Knowledge Management of Universitas Indonesia Library. The first, Ibu Leli Mahyudi MU will give token of appreciation to Dr. William Yeo. Can we give a big applause for Dr. William Yeo from Senior Lecturer at Faculty of Business and Law, Deakin University, Australia. He talks about tips and tricks to get published internationally and improving writing and preventing plagiarism from the perspective of Dr. William Yeo. The second one, next one, we would like to invite Mr. Helwis Chai from my group to give token of appreciation to Bapak Fuad Gani SSMA. Ya. Yeah, the last one, Bapak James, Mr. James. Would like to invite Bapak James, Mr. James, to give to our moderator, Ibu Utami Haryadi SSM Lib MSI. She is lecturer in Library Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. We also want to invite Mr. Jack Blazer to come to the stage. Yeah. And we invite Ibu Maria to give token of appreciation to Mr. Jack Brazel. Thank you very much, Mr. Jack Brazel. We will do a photo group session for all speakers and moderators. Yeah, thank you very much to all speakers and moderators, and you may have a seat again. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, now we enter the lucky draw session. So we have that should still keep your lucky draw number. Okay? Because we will announce who is the lucky one. We have 6 prizes, and I will invite Ibu Tami to take the lucky draw. Ibu Umi, maaf. Yeah, Ibu Umi. I'm so sorry. Okay, the first one, who is the lucky one? Watch your lucky draw number. Okay, the lucky one is number 59. 59. Can you show us your number? Okay, we have to count down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, what's your number? Okay. 6. Yeah. Okay. Please come to the stage. The next one, the lucky one is 6 also, but 67. 67. Oh, okay, congratulations, Ibu. You may come to the stage. Is it okay from the library? Oh, okay, okay, let's come to the stage. Okay, the next one is AA, 88. No, we're gonna move to the next number. Okay. AA, this is the lucky number. Okay, we're gonna move to the next one. Next one is 63. 63. Ibu, congratulations if you can come to the stage. We still have last 3, right? Last 3, yeah? Okay. And then 79. 79. Oh, okay, congratulations Ibu, you may come to the stage. Okay, we want to invite Ibu Heni, to give the prize for the 4 lucky person. Okay, the first one. Okay, congratulations for all the winners. You may take a photo group session. Okay, you may have a seat again. Don't worry, we still have last two prize. And the next lucky one is 49. Do you have your number? Okay, congratulations, Ibu. Please come to the stage. 49, right? Okay. And the last one is 78. 78. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Congratulations for all the winners. So we want to invite Ibu Iriana to give the prize. Actually, one of the winners is the photographer from my library. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Congratulations. Oh, okay. Of course.
Ibu, ini dari kita USB 643.
Wow.
Ini main prize is belum external hard disk 1
Okay, you may take a picture, a group photo session. Okay. Okay, don't forget to show your prize to the camera. Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations once again for all the winners. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to announce you that conclude our workshop today on behalf of Universitas Indonesia Library and I Group. You can download all the materials in our website lib.ui.ac.id/download.gsb. We would like to express our gratitude to our speaker, Dr. William Yeo. Can we give a big applause for Dr. William Yeo? And also our head of library Universitas Indonesia, Bapak Fuad Gani SSMA. And one of the incredible moderator, Mbak Ibu Utami Haryadi SSM MSc. And also Mr. Jack Brazil. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to I Group, Turnitin as our sponsor, and the most important, I would like to say thank you very much for all of you who's coming today. Let's give applause for us. We wish you a pleasant afternoon. Last but not least, kindly enjoy the lunch that we have served in VIP room in first floor of Library Universitas Indonesia. And don't forget to bring your name tag, your ID card. Okay, I am Habib signing out. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And for all distinguished guests, you also can take your own certificate in registration days.